Hi everyone, how are you doing? So before I even begin, I just want to say thank you to everyone who watches the videos, likes, shares, subscribes to the channel. It's all greatly appreciated. If you want to book a personal reading, see the info in the description box on how to do that. And I will also say, if I look very awkward on camera, it's because I feel really awkward on camera. I am nervous, I'm way out of my comfort zone, I'm not used to showing my face on camera, so bear with me. And I do have prompt notes in front of me because in case I forget what I want to say. So today's video, it's like a wrap-up video for 2023. So it's like parting messages. There will be full moon messages for the full moon in Cancer on the 26th of December as well. So yeah, as I say, I'm going to start off with an intro, which is going to be, I'm just going to get a bit personal with you and share a little bit of my 2024 story. And feel free, you are very welcome to share your 2024 story in the comment section as well. If you don't want to share your business and make it public, then you're welcome to send me an email. My email address is in the description box. If you're a private person, I'm a bit of a private person, although I'm coming out of my shell more. After the intro, I'm going to do some kind of peace out messages from 2023 using tarot and oracle cards. And after that, there will be individual time-stamped messages for the full moon in Cancer. So messages for each zodiac sign. The full moon is on Tuesday, the 26th of December in the UK. So let's get on with it. As I say, if I look awkward, it's because I am. And yeah, I'm not used to this, but here we go. So yeah, 2024 story for me, it's been a massive year of learning. I've had a lot of versus moments. So there's been times where it's been fear versus gratitude. There's been times where I've had a lack of faith in people, and then other people have pleasantly surprised me. So I'm grateful for that. There's been a lot of times where I felt like giving up. Versus other times where I've been like, wow, actually I've come pretty far. Like, you know, you realize how far you've come. There've also been times in the year when I've been disappointed in others. And then that's versus kind of being in awe of them or being in awe of other people. And there've been times when I've been disappointed in myself as well, actually. But it's a struggle. It is a struggle. I am one of these people where I always have a thing about feeling, am I good enough? Am I doing enough? Am I doing something good enough? You know, can I be doing more? So yeah, that's something that I think I'm going to have to live with forever. And it's a constant battle. And it takes a lot of energy to keep going sometimes. But yeah, so the highlights of 2023 for me, trip to Dublin. Had kind of like a spontaneous trip to Dublin with a huge group of people, which is unusual for me because I'm more of a one-to-one or small groups type of person. So it was weird, and I only knew a couple of the people out of the group, but it was a beautiful trip. The company was fantastic. Dublin, it was beautiful. It was just really nice. It was really welcoming. It was really relaxed. As I said, the company was great. Shockingly, I was sober for the whole trip, I think. Did I even have 2 drinks? Because I do like a drink, although as I've gotten older, it's toned down by choice and because my body can't cope with drink anymore. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I only had about 2 drinks. I don't know if I had like a cider and a beer or something. That was it, which is unusual for me. Like I literally can't do shots anymore now. I can't. I physically feel sick if I try to do shots, and I used to love tequila. So that was a highlight. So I'm really grateful for that. Another highlight of 2023 for me was my cousin's wedding. I was a bridesmaid. I've never been a bridesmaid in my life. I was a bridesmaid for that. And I'm really grateful for her and her husband for allowing myself and everyone else to be a part of it. The way I view that couple, that is a spiritual connection. They are like the epitome of a spiritual connection. And they are religious. They have their religion. But I don't think they would announce themselves as having a spiritual connection, but you just see it in them. You can see the bond between them, and between them both, they are very much about community. And you can see that it's like they're on a mission. I don't know what the mission, I think it's just a lead by example with them, that they're on a mission in that kind of way. So other highlights, it's been connecting with other people in all sorts of different ways. I mean, as I've said, I am pretty much a loner. It's been that way for a very long time, but excuse me, still getting over a bit of a bug here. It's just, I think because I am a loner, as I've gotten older, I've appreciated my interactions with people more. So because I thought to myself, right, well, I'm a loner, I'm never going to have a best friend. It's like little things like, you know, if you get chatting to someone at a bus stop or in a shop or something, little moments like that, I really appreciate them. And I'm like, right, I may never see the person again, but I appreciate those little moments. Even connecting with people online briefly, like just through one comment or something. Reconnections with people, like acquaintances from the past and stuff like that. I've just really, I really value and appreciate the time and moments I get to share with people. As much as I still want to go back into my sanctuary, into my home or whatever, and be on my own, it makes me appreciate the interactions even more. So my child, as you may know, I'm a parent. I'm a mother to a 9-year-old boy, and I just always feel like he's the highlight of my life. So yeah, I say that without any shame. He is the highlight of my life. I've just enjoyed him. I enjoy seeing him enjoy his life as well and everything. It's just lovely seeing how he expresses himself, just his quirks, his traits, everything. And obviously as a parent, it's not always easy. It is a rough ride. Sometimes it's their behavior drives you up the wall, you know what I mean? Unless you have a really, really well-behaved child who never does anything wrong yet. Their behavior can drive you up the wall sometimes. And for me, I don't know about everybody else, but I've already got the thing about not feeling good enough. But I think as parents in general, sometimes we don't feel like we're good enough, or we're not doing enough, or we're not doing well enough. But we have to remember that there's no such thing as a perfect parent, and there's no perfect kid either. Although some kids might be so well behaved, you might look at them and think they're an angel, but still we are who we are. We're all human. And we have to remember to try not to feel guilty or beat ourselves up when we're struggling, when we're going through difficult times, whether it is financially, in terms of, you know, and you lack energy sometimes. I know with my kids sometimes I get tired, I get really tired. I don't think I have that much energy, to be honest. And things I've said, like I've been like, oh yeah, we're going to do like bake something later on today. And it's like, by the time you've done everything that you need to do in the day, by the time you get to the end of the day, or for me, I'm exhausted, and it's like, I'm sorry, I can't do it today. And obviously he's not happy, his behavior might start acting up a bit with that, and then I have to address that as well. But it's like I've done enough throughout the day. I'm doing the best I can. So yeah, try not to beat yourself up when you're struggling. And by comparisons with others, I know there's a big thing nowadays where sometimes it almost feels like parents are in competition with each other, or trying to keep up with the Joneses type thing. And it's like, there's no rule book for being a parent. There's no rule book for life in general either. So every day is like a brand new opportunity to either do better, try again, start again. And sometimes it's just an opportunity to think, you know what, actually, I'm doing all right. So yeah, it's good to acknowledge that you are doing all right. Nothing's perfect. So what else? Something else, highlights and things that I'm very grateful for 2023 are like little support and gifts. And by that, sometimes it's felt like little miracles have happened where, I mean, I've mentioned in previous videos that I struggle to ask for help for things. Like, I'm really stubborn, and I'm just sort of, I want to figure everything out for myself, do everything. Like, I'm excessively independent at times. However, I do sort of pray. I'm not religious, as you know, I'm spiritual. I'm not religious. But I do sort of pray to like my spiritual team, and I'll sort of say, please help me get through this, or, you know, whatever it is, just general. And then I've noticed, especially in the past few months, every minute I'm getting some little sort of gift or bit of support that it's not that I literally ask the person for it, but I'm getting surprised. And it's happened a lot now. I'd say a dozen, if not more times. I'm just getting practical things that help when I've really needed it. So I'm really grateful for that. My prayers are definitely being answered. I've had amazing personal readings this year with a few readers. I had my first astrology reading, which was brilliant. It's just showed me a lot about who I am, and yeah, where I could go. One of the things I mentioned before about that thing about feeling like I'm not good enough, and my chart actually showed me the part of that. There's something where I've got Taurus in Chiron in the 11th house, and that means that for the rest of my life I'm always going to have this issue of not feeling good enough. So it's something I've always got to sort of work on all the time. As I said, it's hard. Another thing that came up in the astrology reading, was it in the astrology reading? Actually, it wasn't the astrology reading that I had specifically, although no, actually, tell a lie, that did bring some stuff up for that. I've said before that I feel that I have a twin flame, and let's not get wrapped up in the titles of things like twin flame soulmates. It's only because I can't think of a better word to describe it. For me personally, I feel that, as I said, don't get wrapped up in the titles. Any relationships, romantic connections that you're involved in, if it's really complex and there's toxicity and just it's weird, you know what I mean? I mean, hopefully you'll know if something doesn't feel right, but the ones that are really difficult, and yeah, try and learn from that and try to focus on healthy connections instead, is what I would say. I think we should all be aiming for healthy connections over the titles of soulmates and twin flames. Don't worry about the title, worry about how it feels, worry about how the person treats you, how you treat each other. If you're able to grow together, as I say, healthy should be the key word. So yeah, say twin flame, let's call it, I think I want to call it a deeply transformational connection. That's what it was for me. And it's weird because not much happened physically or in reality. Like obviously I did meet the person and interact with the person and we connected and yeah, stuff happened. I don't know whether I'm ever going to get into that story in full detail. I'm tempted, and obviously I'm not going to reveal their identity because it's private for them. I've been tempted to sort of tell the story, but then on the other hand, it's like, oh, I don't know if I want to come out of my shell that much. But what I can say, as I say, it was a deeply transformative connection, although it was brief and yeah, on the surface, it didn't look like much. It changed me at my core properly. Like, it was a mirror for me. It showed me who I am. It opened me up to my path spiritually. Not to say I wasn't spiritual before, but tarot, that was how I began doing tarot. And I will say this might be helpful to anyone who feels that they have like a deep spiritual type connection with anyone. One of the things that's come up just within the last few days, and it was unrelated actually. I was talking to Aquarian Insight. She is on Odyssey and Rumble. I know I mention her, you know, every so often. It came up in a conversation about my sun being conjunct the twin flames, Pluto, in my birth chart. I don't know his birth chart, I know my birth chart, but you know when you know someone's birthday or their sign or something like that. So that came up, and that is, yeah, it explains a lot. If you believe in twin flame connections and you look up Sun conjunct Pluto in synastry charts, yeah, explains a lot about that. So that might be useful to someone. So yeah, now onto the lows of 2023. I'm not going to spend much time on that. Family Tower moment. I mean, I'm not going to go into detail because that is private. But the signs have been there for years. Yeah, that things weren't quite right. But when it all came to a head, it felt like a tower. It was a tower when it all came to a head. However, I will say that it's a new dynamic in the family now, and the way I'm looking at it, it's made me appreciate everybody more. And I've mentioned, I can't remember which reading I mentioned in that I haven't celebrated Christmas for about 12 or more years. There are a few reasons for that. I think one of them is I'm not a Christian, so it sort of felt, I got to a point where I was like, this is weird, I'm not a Christian, why am I celebrating the, you know what I mean, celebrating something that I don't have a spiritual or religious belief in. So that was one reason. And my grandmother, she passed away when I was 6 years old, and she was a hardcore matriarch of the family. She was like the glue of the extended family, and when she passed, it was never the same, to be honest. So that had an impact. My granddad, I mean, he was pretty much just a quiet, peaceful person, and everybody just sort of got distanced when my grandmother passed away. And then he passed away, and it just, I think Christmas got to, it became depressing because, you know, it's like, because they were such a huge part of the family, the feeling of them not being there, it just made it feel depressing instead of something to enjoy. But yeah, as I say, because of the change in the dynamic and the tower moment, or whatever you want to call it, that happened in the family this year, I think from about October I was sort of thinking, you know what, I really feel compelled to do like a traditional Christmas this year. So I've done that, got a Christmas tree, we're doing presents, everything. I mean, as a family, we've always sort of still gathered at Christmas. I think another reason we didn't, one other thing with Christmas why we stopped as well is because of the presents. It's like we have everything that we need. It's like we didn't need anything else. So it felt like, why keep on spending money on stuff we don't need? And I mean, obviously, I'm not judging anyone who does that, you know, do whatever makes you happy in life. But we're the kind of family where we just don't want a lot, to be honest. So it was like, we could put the money to other things, couldn't we, really? But that's just the way we've done it. But yeah, as I say, this year we are doing more of a traditional Christmas, and it's part of, I think, that tower moment in the family that really had an impact and has changed that. What else can I say? So I've had a lot of struggles and sadness as well around work. Around work. And this is something that's been going on for decades, actually. There's always been this thing about the connection between my identity and work, like employment, jobs, etc. And this year, through work, I've really seen and learned who I am and who I am not. And again, I can't remember which reading it was, but there was a reading, and again, referencing Aquarian Insight, because she's brought this up in one of her readings as well. It got to a point where I was like, I literally cannot be that person anymore. So yeah, and then part of that, the change that came about in knowing who I am and who I'm not, was me starting the YouTube channel as well. Yeah, that was very scary for me. It is scary for me because I feel like with social media, it can bring out the best in people, but it can absolutely bring out the worst. It can bring out the monster in people as well. So it was really scary starting a YouTube channel, and because I'm not that much into social media as well, it was like, God, do I really want to do this? I don't want to show my face. I don't want to be online, blah, blah, blah. But I've done it anyway, and I'm still here. And it's been a major turning point. So finally, I think wrapping up the lows and my 2024 story, there have been a lot of times where I felt very alone, even though I'm not alone and I do have people around me who can be there for me. But you know, when they're going through their shit as well and you don't want to bug them, and you feel like you just want to take care of it by yourself. You don't want to be a burden. So I felt very alone at times. There have been times where I felt like a failure as a member of society. Again, that not good enough, not doing enough thing, not meeting certain standards, that comparison thing. We really have to get ourselves out of this comparison and think for ourselves, don't we? Because it messes us up. As I've said, I have suffered from depression in the past, and it's something that it can come back. I think this year I've been quite blessed that it hasn't been too bad. Like any time where I've kind of been on the verge of depression, I haven't sunk into it fully, so I've been okay. Also in terms of anxiety as well, I can get anxiety, like proper hardcore anxiety, and I've not been too bad with that this year, so I'm very grateful for that. So I know I've talked quite a bit for the last 18 minutes. I'm now going to get into some cards, and as I say, these are like peace out messages for 2023. So what does 2023 want to say to us as like parting messages, as peace out messages? So I'm actually shocked I've managed to get through this. We've got one so far. And I know the camera quality is not the best. I'm working with what I have, so hopefully it's good enough. So I'm just getting about 3 messages from the Power of Surrender deck. Right, we've got 3 messages there. This one came out before when I was doing a bit of a pre-shuffle earlier. So messages from 2023. The first one you've got is surrender to receiving support and love. Allow the love and support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. That's that one there. I don't know if you can see that. So yep, as a parting message, and I think I was going to say actually in terms of being a parent, and not just being a parent, anything in general, allow the support in where you can get it, to be honest. If you're struggling, you know, try your best not to be afraid to ask for help. You've got surrender to play. Take a break from overthinking a goal. Do something fun. Play is a time of recreation and rejuvenation. And I think we always should have time for play, because with how stressful life can get and how stressful the world can be, you need to play and have as much fun as you possibly can. I don't know, will 2024 be a more playful year? I really hope it will, but who knows? And you have surrender your belief in scarcity. The universe is asking you to open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. That's that card there. And that feels like, I will say, and it's probably coming from what I've experienced as well, about doubting yourself. Yeah, if you have any doubts in yourself, try and move past any doubt so that you can kind of move forward in a way that feels abundant for you. So next I will get some messages from the Believe in Your Own Magic deck before I get onto a few tarot cards and see what comes out with that. So and I am sitting on the floor of my living room. I'm so comfortable on the floor. If I could do all of the readings on the floor, I would. That's actually how I started recording when I began the channel, is by sitting on the floor. But I moved to a desk. It felt better at the desk when I moved to the desk. But I do love being on the floor, to be honest. So if I do any more face-to-face readings, they will be on the floor. Right. A bunch of them have flown all over the place, but I can see what came out originally. So we have, the first card says, wings, you never needed those wings to fly. I might just have a brief look in the book to see if there's anything else that I can add to that. You've got that one. You've got storm. Every hurricane comes to an end. So for me, that's about the light at the end of the tunnel. When you've gone through struggles, dramas, tower moments, it's the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, I like the way that the cycle of that comes, or the order of that. The next one you've got is garden. Something lovely will grow from this. So if you have been experiencing any drama, tower moments, etc., it's like a progression, isn't it? You've got the storm, then you've got the light at the end of the tunnel, and then something lovely will grow from this. So let me just have a look at that wings message quickly. Let's put these here actually. So that's number 8. It says, it seems like you're stuck in a never-ending cycle of self-doubt and self-criticism. When you tell yourself you can't do whatever you set your mind to, that's what we refer to as negative self-talk. And it's extremely toxic. Just as we expect others to treat us with kindness, we also need to treat ourselves with kindness. A bird can't fly away if you never let it out of its cage. So that is also about doubt, isn't it, as well? Set yourself free, basically. So let's have a look at some tarot cards now and see what comes out. I'm using the Gilded Tarot first of all. So again, parting messages, peace out messages from 2023 to the collective, to us. What does 2023 want to say to us as it kicks us out of the door? Hopefully not on our arses. Right, we've got one. Okay, we've got 3 cards there. So you've got the 10 of Cups in reverse, the King of Cups, and the Devil. Just bear with me a minute while I look at those. The message that I'm getting from this is, what's holding you back from your happiness? I know that is an odd message, but look at that. We've got the 10 of Cups in reverse, the King of Cups, and the Devil. Yeah, I'm getting what is holding you back from your happiness. Yeah, that's the message I'm getting. Let me just have a little bit of a look into that. I wasn't really going to clarify anything, but I'm tempted now because it's just, yeah. Clarify the 10 of Cups, please. I'll do another, I've got another deck, so I'll do another message, a separate message as well. Clarify the 10 of Cups, please. We've got the Tower. Let's get one more for that. Queen of Cups. Page of Pentacles and Two of Wands. There might be difficulty in making choices. That's one thing that could be holding you back from your happiness potentially. It's really weird because this is reversed. The screen is reversed from the way I'm showing it. So you've got a Tower card, the Queen of Cups, the Page of Pentacles and Two of Wands in reverse. There might be difficulty in making choices here. That could be one thing that's holding you back from your happiness. It could be that things have fallen apart before and you're worried about moving forward, or you're not sure what direction to go in if things have fallen apart. King of Cups, we have the Nine of Swords, Temperance. I'm getting something about emotional balance with that. For the King of Swords, you've got the Nine of Swords in reverse, Temperance, the Fool, and the Ten of Pentacles. There's something about being secure, more secure in your emotions, how you feel, and how that influences the choices that you make. That's what I'm getting from that. Let's look at the Devil as well. So that may be something that collectively we need to work on, is having more faith and confidence and trusting in how we feel and ourselves, and trusting in ourselves to be able to guide us to success and abundance. Let's look at the Devil. Ooh, there might be some issues around trusting other people, like working with other people and collaborating with other people on things. Or some of you may feel that certain collaborations have held you back. Yeah, you've got the Nine of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So the Nine of Pentacles can be about independence, can't it? You might be wondering, who can I trust? Who can I trust to work with? You've got the Two of Swords wanting to come out then. I mean, that's about discernment, isn't it, sometimes? So Six of Swords. Yeah, there might be concerns around, part of it might be concerns around who you can trust to work with. Let's just get one more, actually. Well, we get two more. You get the Knight of Swords and the Ten of Wands. Yeah, you might be worried about sharing your knowledge, as I say, collaborating with people. You might be concerned and held back by that. So, as I say, overall, what's holding you back from your happiness? That's like the key message to think about, because it's going to be different for everyone, isn't it? And I'd say whatever it is, address it so that you can kind of get rid of it. And as we get into 2024, you know, achieve what you want to achieve in 2024, achieve more, expand, change, whatever's necessary for your happiness. So let's get one more message. One more peace out message from 2023. This is the Spellcaster's deck. So what else does 2023 want to say to us as a parting message? So the Ace of Pentacles has come up so far. Ace of Pentacles followed by the Ten of Pentacles. Anything else? Ooh, the Lovers, okay. I'm going to clarify the Ace of Pentacles and the Lovers. So that's there. That's what you've got so far. So Ace of Pentacles in reverse, Ten of Pentacles, and the Lovers. it is a similar message, I'm not going to lie, because you've got the Seven of Pentacles clarifying the Ace of Pentacles now. So for me, those two together, the Ace of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, it's like when you have an opportunity, or there's the potential for an opportunity, but you're kind of deciding, is it worth it? Is this something I should invest in? And that could be anything. I mean, you've got the the Lovers. So it could be a relationship. You could be considering whether it's worth investing or committing to a relationship with a certain person. The Lovers can refer to anything that you love, but because you've got the Ten of Pentacles there, it is something long-term. It's something that's considered to be abundant as well. Let's get another one for the Ace of Pentacles. Wow, we've got the Magician next. If it's not about considering if an opportunity is worth investing in, it's how, it's like, you know, when I talk about things being a work in progress, sometimes when the cards are in reverse, I'll say it feels like a work in progress. It would be, that is my tummy rumbling, I'm hungry. You haven't had breakfast yet, as usual. It's like with the Seven of Pentacles and the Magician together, that would be, well, how can I turn this around? How can I make it work for me or be more fruitful? Or how can I make it work in general? Let's get one more for the Ace of Pentacles. Might have to leave something behind in the process. I mean, it can be, the Eight of Cups can be about not settling as well. But you may have to leave something behind in the process for the opportunity to kind of come to fruition. Let's look at the Lovers. We've got the Emperor. And the Death card. I mean, the Death card again speaks of kind of possibly leaving something behind. I'm going to try that again because they all flew everywhere. Just bear with me. Let's get one more for that Lovers card. Oh, Wheel of Fortune. I'm not surprised. The word transform was in my head, and then you get the Wheel of Fortune as well. There might be something because of the Emperor about needing to take the lead more, whether it's in if it's in a situation, in a relationship possibly. Oh yeah, and then you've got the Seven of Wands, because the Seven of Wands can be about standing up for something, but it's in reverse. So whatever it is that you desire, that you love, that you want to connect to, as I say, if you want to bring it to fruition, fully to fruition, or take action towards it, or whatever part of the process you're in, as I say, there's a need to kind of take more of the lead, take charge, take action. Something has to change, and I'd say there's something where you have to leave something behind, because you've got the Eight of Cups and the Death card, which are there, which indicate leaving something behind. It might need you to transform, to be honest. Both the Magician and the Emperor are cards of power, of taking the lead, of being very capable. So yeah, second message is whatever opportunity it is you want, whatever you want to connect with, whatever it is that you desire, you may have to leave something behind, and you will probably need to take a stand and take control more, and take more of the lead, and kind of, you know how we talk about that step into your power kind of vibe, that. So I'll leave your messages there. If you are still with me, thank you very much for watching. And we're going to go on to the full moon messages now. So enjoy the Christmas break, whatever you're doing, whether you're celebrating or not, just enjoy the period of time. And I'm wishing you a fantastic 2024. So if you hear a clicking noise now, it's me clicking. So welcome to the full moon in Cancer messages. So I'm going to start off with, I've taken the card out of the Moonology deck, the full moon in Cancer card, because that'll give us like a flavor of what full moon in Cancer is about. I'm going to read that message. First of all, if you think of a question that you have, just think of any question that you have that you kind of want to ask the cards, and the full moon in Cancer message may help you with that. So I'll do that first, then I will get messages for each individual zodiac sign from the Lantern Oracle, so a card from that deck, and tarot cards as well. When we get to the individual sign messages, those will be relevant or can be relevant for your sun, moon or rising sign. But let's start off with this card first of all. So full moon in Cancer, it says a personal issue reaches resolution. And this is how I've been using this deck for quite a while now, where I just take out the relevant card for whatever sign the full moon or new moon is in. So this message says, so thinking of your question, if you have your question in mind, and that is blurred, isn't it? Okay, whatever question you have in mind, this may help you. Things are likely to get very heated as full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign. So there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals or dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about, it signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests both that a domestic matter or a private issue will soon come to a head, and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is the time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities. So the Attune to the Moon message says it may be best to move towards what you want in a sideways manner. Additional meanings for this card: meditate to soothe heightened emotions. Don't be clingy. Stop sulking. Have you had enough family time lately? The heightened emotions of the Moon-Cancer combination can't be ignored. However, Cancer is one of the Moon's 2 home signs along with Taurus. So astrologically speaking, the Moon loves to be in this sign. In fact, she rules Cancer. This means that with this card, there's a sense that all is as it should be, or don't worry, all will soon be well. So I forgot to say that the full moon is on Tuesday. In the UK, it's on Tuesday, the 26th of December, 2023. I actually didn't realize that the moon, one of its home signs is Taurus. That's brand new information to me, unless I've read it somewhere and completely forgot about it. So the family stuff, it speaks of family matters, personal matters. I mean, that doesn't surprise me. Aside from the Cancer relevance, obviously Christmas time, New Year's, it's a time when a lot of people spend a lot more time with their family, so it wouldn't surprise me if there were people getting closer, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, people having more disagreements. That's a possibility. Where it says it's a good time to move a house, I'm not sure if I've ever heard of anyone moving house around this. Actually, that's a lie. I moved house, I think. Did I move house near Christmas time at one point in my life? I may have actually. So yeah, that's if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that, but I feel like I might have moved house like a week or so, or a few weeks before Christmas. But yeah, anyway, right. So we're going to get on with the individual sign readings. I'm going to keep this here to help us out. And yeah, we're going to start off in the correct order of the individual astrological zodiac signs. So welcome back, Aries. We are going to start off with your message from the Lantern Oracle first of all. So again, it's for the full moon in Cancer on the 26th of December. So we'll get this message first, and then we'll get the tarot cards out for you. So you've got 2 messages. I am going to take both of them. So you have responding, not reacting. The only control we have is how we respond to the hand we are dealt. Right, so I have a confession to make, Aries, and I might as well have said it at the beginning of the video. So I'm re-recording this because I did yours all the way through to Virgo, and halfway through the Virgo video, something glitched and it stopped recording and said the video failed, and I've lost it. I've tried to recover it, can't get it, so I've had to start re-recording the video. This actually, I'm pretty sure this came out. I mean, I can't be 100% sure because I can't go back and watch the video because I can't find it, but I'm pretty sure this came out the first time for you. I don't know if that was the only one you got. I feel like you may have gotten another one with it. I think you got 2, and that was definitely one of them. And the second card you've got, so you didn't get this before, Cancer actually got this before, emotional energy. Emotions are messengers to be met with appropriate attention, action, and gratitude. So I'm only going to be reading one, even if more than one comes out, I'll only be reading the full message for one. I'll read this one again because it's come out twice, so there's got to be something relevant here, particularly for that one. And then I'll just read like there's a small little message sentence at the end of each of them, which I'll read for that one. So I'll do this one first, but let me get your tarot cards out as well. I have to say, Aries, I'm devastated that I've lost those messages because they were really, the original messages for your sign through to Virgo were really good. So yeah, it's not so much about having to record again. I don't mind that. But you know, and the messages felt really good and it's like, damn it. I just literally cannot find the file. And I've tried to research how to get it back. And yeah, it's just missing now. Like at first it was there, but it just wouldn't play. Now it's completely disappeared. So, right. What does Aries need to know, please? So you've got the Magician. You also have the Sun and the Three of Swords. So I would say, I think the first thing that comes to mind is be careful of your power. Obviously, be clear, be direct, be open. You know, I mean, Aries, I think, is one of the signs that is known for telling it as it is. But just kind of be careful of your power. You probably are a very powerful person, and there is the potential. There is the potential for hurting other people. And also that saying, hurt people comes to mind too. Not saying that it's something that you necessarily do intentionally, but you know, like if we argue with people or something, and sometimes we might say something that we can't take back, you know, just kind of be aware of that. That's the first thing that comes to mind here. Okay, let's read your messages. So as I said, I'm going to have a brief look at the emotional energy one. So that was 25, and it says, right, the Guardian's message says, shooting the emotional messengers for containing news that you do not like or want is as effective as shooting yourself in the foot over the need for a new pair of shoes. The job of emotions is to help you to navigate your way safely and successfully through life. Let them. So that's the first message. I would also say as well, if there is any pain that you might be pushing down, or some disappointment or something that you might be pushing down, obviously you're fully capable of dealing with it. So, you know, there's no reason to sort of push it out. It might come to light, actually. Yeah, you might find that something comes to light within this full moon, where you sort of revisit, I don't know if that's the right word, revisit some sort of pain. And with the Magician there, it just says that you are capable of kind of addressing it and dealing with it. So let's look at responding, not reacting. So the only control we have is in how we respond to the hand we are dealt. So it says, children cannot control their emotions. Developmentally, their capacity is limited to reflexive reaction until the energy is physically released, as the maiden to the left illustrates. This is why the mother, guardian, crone, or male guardian equivalent is crucial to a child's first 8 years of life. The child is dependent upon the guardian to acknowledge, validate, and hold space for the reality of the child's emotional experience. When a guardian lovingly models for the child how to constructively respond to the full spectrum of uncomfortable emotions, the child learns how to deal with them effectively. Ideally, the guardian will calmly and appropriately support the child until uncomfortable emotion abates. It is most helpful when the guardian names the emotion, empathizes with the child, and gives assurance that all is or will be okay. When constructive advice is offered on how to restore equilibrium or achieve some form of reconciliation or resolution, the child learns how to process and think in terms of moving forward from an upsetting situation. There is no end to how much modeling, mentoring, and guidance from a guardian beneficially equips a child for dealing with life throughout every step of it. Emotional support is necessary from a guardian until a child develops the capacity to independently self-regulate when in distress. The maiden to the right of the card demonstrates this internalized ability as she soothes her reactive duplicate to the left. She represents the ideally integrated capacity to diffuse the impulse to react and instead respond after taking the time to consider the most beneficial course of action calmly. You might benefit from responding rather than reacting to a certain person, group, or situation. While our survival mechanism triggers reactive emotions that provide valuable feedback not to be ignored, to react impulsively has the potential to turn a negative situation into a double negative. Therefore, the maidens encourage you to step away and take time out to consider how you might calmly and most effectively respond. The maidens assure you that you have what it takes to stay in your power and integrity as you gracefully attempt to move amicably forward. And the maiden's message says, remain in your self-control and therefore integrity as you assert yourself with respect and consideration to all parties involved. If a personal circumstance cannot or will not meet you halfway, empower yourself by walking away. As you leave, feel your emotions and empathize with yourself. Let any uncomfortable emotion be acknowledged and energetically released in a safe space and through your preferred form of movement. Take what is to be learned from the uncomfortable experience and use it to assist you in going forward positively. So I will say, there's a thing about compassion here. So compassion for yourself in terms of like emotional messages that you receive within yourself, and obviously compassion for other people. If any disagreements or anything like that arise, just do your best to stay in your integrity. I mean, yes, obviously be honest, do what you have to do, stand your ground, but be compassionate as well. Sometimes our reactions can escalate situations, and there may be something where you kind of, because you've got the Magician here, it's almost like thinking about honing your capacity or your ability to deal with certain emotions, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's what comes up here. So that is your message. I mean, Cancer, whenever the moon is in Cancer, I know for some people it can really trigger some shit as well. It can trigger certain emotions, even if you've been like cool for a very long time. It's just the connection between Cancer and the moon. It can be quite volatile. It can be deep. It can be loving as well. But yeah, it can trigger certain emotions on varying ends of the spectrum for people. So yeah. There's your message. I don't know if I said to that this message is for the full moon, and you can use it for the rest of the year as well. As I've said, this time of year, people are around a lot more people, family, etc. And we all know that not everybody has a happy family, or even if you do, people can get on each other's nerves. So be prepared. Keyword, compassion. So thank you for watching, Aries. Take care. Welcome back, Taurus. So as you can see, I am making the most of the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle. I'm not sure if I said that in Aries video actually. So I'm just using the cards for each sign here. It's a nice reminder for all of us who I'm looking at, whose energy I'm looking at. So gonna get your message from the Lantern Oracle first of all. And so it's the messages for the full moon in Cancer for the 26th of December, but you can take this message as far as if you want to say it's relevant for the rest of 2023. So what do we need to know for Taurus? And I might as well let you know as well that I had a massive glitch with the video, so I'm pretty much re-recording the messages from Aries through to Leo, is it? Leo. Yeah, Leo, because I had the glitch happened in the middle of Virgo, which I am not happy about because the messages were, I really like them. I really like the messages. I thought they were good, so it's kind of pissed me off a bit. It's not the re-recording, it's just that when you've lost good messages, and I can't even find the file now. At first it just wasn't playing, but yeah, now it's just disappeared. So you've got two messages. I'm only going to read one of them though. And I almost feel like you got this before. You may have got this before. I know the one I just did for Aries, the re-recording, they got the same message and an additional one as well. I have a feel, I know someone got this. It might have been you, but I know someone had this. Eternal Gatekeeper, acknowledge, assert and protect what is right for you. Love the artwork in that. And transitions, you have all of the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. So I'm only going to read one of them. I think I'm going to do the transitions one. That feels like that could really be big for you. I mean, Eternal Gatekeeper, acknowledge, assert and protect what is right for you. It's protecting yourself, who you are, what you believe in, what you stand for. Well, that's the way I take it. And then in terms of transitions, It's just saying you're very capable, but I feel like there could be something really helpful in that for you. So I'm going to get a few tarot cards out for you first, and then I will look at the messages in the book. So I'm only going to read a little tiny part of the Eternal Gatekeeper one, and then I'll go full in on the transitions one. But let's look at your tarot cards. What do we need to know about Taurus's full moon in Cancer message for the 26th of December? So you've got the Nine of Wands. I mean, that can be considered, okay, that can be considered a protective energy. Let's get one more. Whoa, you've got double protective. I mean, the Nine of Wands, for me, it can have a few different meanings. So sometimes it can be a protective energy, not so much in this one, but in some of the other ones, it's like a protective, like resistance type energy sometimes, or reluctant or cautious. Sometimes it can feel like resilience as well. This particular one often feels like forgiveness for me. I'll look at them together in a second and see how I feel about it. But yeah, that one can vary for me. But Seven of Wands is definitely a protective energy. I mean, we spoke about standing up for yourself there. Six of Pentacles, it's a card of give and take, isn't it? But this is, I mean, obviously the Nine of Wands in general is a card of being battered, bruised, someone who's still standing. So I think I would say here with the Nine of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, you may have been overly generous, possibly towards people previously, or even now you might have been overly generous, and it's kind of a time now to sort of maybe transition out of that and be a bit more protective of your energy, but I would say resources as well. I mean, I don't know if anybody has kind of been taken advantage of in terms of their time, energy, finances, you know, if you kind of, and I mean financial, being taken advantage of financially, yes, it could literally be fraud. I'm not wishing that on anyone at all. If I'm speaking of that, it's already happened. But it can be fraud to the degree of fraud. It can be as simple as, you know, like if one example I'm thinking of is there was an article in the newspaper where a grandmother who usually did Christmas at her house because she's got lots of kids and grandkids. She said she decided, I think this was last year actually, she said everybody that comes around has to contribute, like pay £10 or something to that effect, because she's the one who always foots the bill for all the food and everything. And there was an uproar about it, and I thought, well, hell yeah, to be frank. I mean, I come from like a Caribbean background. So I think for the most part in Caribbean families, everybody would kind of contribute in some way, shape or form anyway, like whether it is literally, probably not so much giving someone money, but they might help, but might buy part of the food or give them a contribution of money before they go and buy the food or something. Like there'd be some sort of contribution or assistance in some way, shape or form. And I know that in some other cultures it might work like that as well. Or, you know, like one family might have Christmas at theirs, and then everybody's invited around to the other house the next day. So then everybody's getting fed there, and you know what I mean? It just balances itself out. Whereas you may have found that you're the one who does everything and foots the bill for everything, and so it's not technically fraud, but it's like you're giving a lot more than everybody else. And there's different ways that can go, even in relationships as well. It can be, whether it is romantic or not, it's where you put in too much effort and then it ends up wearing you down, doesn't it? Like you're always the one to call the people and check on them or arrange the plans of where you're going to go, what you're going to do. And obviously if you're happy to do that, that's fine. But if you start to feel burdened by it, then it becomes an issue, doesn't it? So enough of me chatting. I'm sure you'll know how relevant it is to you. So let's look at Eternal Gatekeeper first of all. So the brief message for that, 32, number 32, isn't it? So it says, right, the Guardian's message says, every moment is an opportunity to choose again. To live in alignment with the light of your heart and spirit is the greatest gift you can give to yourself and the world. So it's literally choosing what's right for you, isn't it? It is choosing what's right for you, making the decisions that honor you. As I always say, it's not to say you become completely selfish and disregard everybody else and their feelings, but honor yourself too. Whatever it is, whether it is as simple as people taking advantage of you, or in terms of choosing your path and your truth and stuff like that. So I've been talking all day, so yes, I am losing my voice at this point, and I've still got a little bit of a bug. So right, transitions. You have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. It says transitions bridge our life from one significant change to the next. They are the periods between one way, phase, or chapter in life and another. As interims that follow turning points of no return, they bookmark the times that we have had to figure out how to make our life work again. Transitioning takes as long as it takes to adapt to new circumstances or perspectives. The tension of not being able to turn back and not knowing how to adjust effectively to what is new can be disconcerting. There can be varying degrees of pain, resistance, and inner turmoil as we struggle to break our former self into a new way of life and version of ourselves. Until we figure out how all that is new to us works and reconcile ourselves with it, it can be difficult to trust others as well as ourselves. At these points of no return, we can either freeze, fight as if we can do something about what has already happened, or grow. Stepping or being thrust over a new threshold requires courage. There are no guarantees that familiarizing ourselves with our new direction will yield anything amenable to us. All that we can do is give life our best by being in the moment and putting 100% into effectively dealing with whatever presents itself. We learn as we go. Once we know better, we do better. Transitions are raw and unstable periods that require time and patience to adjust and recalibrate. Trying to go back is an illusory trap that would be best to avoid. Understand that a return to what is past is not possible. The reality of it no longer exists for you. However, to complete the process of transition, you must choose to leave and let go of what was. Whether this change in circumstance is something that you had wanted or not is irrelevant. You need to be the one who internally releases what was to truly enter into what is now. The sooner you own the departure and reconcile yourself with whatever the change is, the smoother and briefer your period of transition will be. A minor or major time of transition may be at hand. The crone wishes to assure you that it is always okay for your period of transition to be messy, awkward, uncomfortable, and met with resistance. Be gentle with yourself as you find your new rhythm, routine, and way. It is helpful to reflect upon prior transitions and the wisdom gained from each as well as to keep note of those going forward. The crone's message says, transitions are the blessings rarely recognized as such at the time. Okay, so another thing that comes in with that as well, with the Six of Pentacles, is getting the balance, not just in terms of give and take with other people, but just in life in general, just gaining your sense of equilibrium in general. I would say, if you are someone who gives more than you receives, this could be a message to you as well, to allow others to give to you, to assist you. If you have been through a rough time, as I say, you could be transitioning into a greater sense of balance, harmony, fairness, etc. And it still stands with that Seven of Wands. It's being protective of yourself and your energy and standing up for yourself and what you believe in. So I will leave your message there, Taurus. Sorry, I'm just looking at the camera to make sure it hasn't cut out like it did before. Yeah, I'll leave your message there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Welcome back, Gemini. So as you can see, I'm making use of the Barbie Aries Zodiac Oracle. So here's your Gemini card. We're going to start with your message from the Lantern Oracle, then I'll get some tarot cards out for you. So we're looking at full moon in Cancer messages for you for the 26th of December. And you can take this message. I'm going to try that again. I'm going to take that message, this message. Wow, that's interesting, actually. Look, you've got intention and distorted desire. So, yeah, that's really interesting. I'll see what else comes out, though. You can take the message to be relevant to the rest of... That was really dramatic. I'm going to take them because they were so dramatic. To the end of the year, 2023. So you've got broken dreams. Only you can accept or reject your dreams. And the other card is Strength of Vulnerability. True power lies at the root of a perceived weakness. So, I don't know which one to read out of these. I am only choosing one to read. I'm going to do the broken dreams one. I have a feeling, I could be wrong here, I have a feeling that if anybody's watching, they might be looking more at the broken dreams one, but I don't know. But yeah, I'll look at the brief message of the Strength of Vulnerability message. But yeah, the broken dreams one is standing out. So I'm going to get some tarot cards for you as well. And my mind might change actually after I get the tarot cards out. these messages are rather long. That's why I'm only, well, it's not the only reason I'm doing reading one of them, but it can get confusing when you have to hear too much from the book, can't it? So let's get your tarot cards out. What does Gemini need to know? We have the Death card, we have the Seven of Swords, which belongs, it feels like it needs to be up. And that's how it feels. I can see the connection between that Seven of Swords and the vulnerability card. Wow, yeah. You know what? The cards that came out before about intentions, I think that's right. I think they were right. It's just it came out in a different way because with that distorted desire card, that kind of came out before, it's about getting to the root of why you want what you want. One example I gave was in the Virgo video, because I might as well tell you as well. I'll probably just tell all of the signs now. I'm basically re-recording all the videos from Aries through to Leo because I had a massive glitch during Virgo. You might already know this because I'm not recording everything in linear order anyway, like in terms of the full moon message, and it will make sense when you watch the whole thing, or if you watch the whole thing. But yeah, I had a massive glitch in the Virgo video where it stopped recording, said it failed or something. There was a failure in the recording and the file wouldn't play. And then I literally couldn't find the file. So as of now, I still haven't been able to find the file and recover it. So I've had to re-record from Aries to Virgo. But as I was going to say, in the Virgo video, I gave an example because did they get the distorted desire? I feel like they did get it. I'm actually really confused now because I've done so many readings today. But I was saying that, as you may already know anyway, I've always been pretty much, for the most part, I've been a loner. As a child, I've kind of grown up still a loner. I'm perfectly capable of socializing, but I just like my own company and it is what it is. And I wouldn't say that I've sort of I always kind of wanted a best friend when I was a kid or when I was a teenager, and I never kind of found that. So I always was kind of longing for that. I was also the kind of person that wanted to find the love of my life when I was older, settle down, have kids, etc. Have a kid, but I'm single. So yeah, it hasn't quite worked out how I wanted. But I realised that at the lowest points in my life previously, when I was really lonely and wanted a partner, a romantic partner, I eventually got to a point where I thought, you know what, it's not so much. I mean, yes, of course I want the romantic partner side of things, but what you really want is a best friend. And I realised that at the heart of it, what I really wanted in terms of a partner when I was at my loneliest was a best friend. So that's how I talk about the distorted dreams, or distorted desire, should I say. It's like, what is at the heart of what you really want? So I hope that makes sense to you. But anyway, yeah, so the cards came out. It said intention and it was distorted desire. So you've got broken dreams here, and it says only you can accept or reject your dreams. That is making me think of those intentions here. You've got the Three of Wands in reverse, and that can often be about intentions. You've got the vulnerability card, and I've said that connected to the Seven of Swords. For me, I mean, the Seven of Swords in itself sometimes for me can be about being really honest, radically honest with yourself. And then with the vulnerability card, you know, that almost kind of tells me the same kind of thing about being radically honest with yourself and about the intentions you want to set, because you've got the Three of Wands in reverse here. Upright, it is for me about setting intentions. In reverse, it's almost making me think there's a reluctance to do that. You've got the Death card here, and that feels like it connects to that broken dreams where, I mean, the Death card is where something's finished, isn't it? I mean, there can be a rebirth from that, but it's finished. So I'm thinking of, you know, like filling a void, like when you think you want something, when you really want something, and it's kind of to fill a void, like, or you do something, you feel like you're pursuing something with genuine, like it's really what your heart wants, but it's kind of to fill a void. And I'm trying to think of an example, and there's only one example I can think of, and yeah, it's not the be all and end all, but it's all I can think of. So say if you were someone who was highly career motivated and your entire life is just your whole career, which it is what it is, isn't it? So for some people that it is, but in reality, you were very lonely because and this comes up in all sorts of films all the time, doesn't it? You're like a very lonely person, but you're so focused on your career that you're like, no, I don't care. I'm only focused on my career. But in reality, it's kind of a bit of a distorted You know what I mean? It's a bit of a distortion there because you're trying to fill the void of loneliness with your career, which the career can, yes, it can be great, but it can't fill the void of like intimacy and stuff like that, of emotional intimacy, can it? But I don't know why that came through, but yeah, okay, let's get on with it. Let's look at these. So death card, clearly something's finished. There is an opportunity for rebirth here, but you will need to be very, very honest and open with yourself. And this could be any number of situations. You either could be resisting a certain desire, intention, possibly, or it's asking you to reconsider your intentions, possibly in something as well. And whatever could be finished, as I said, it could be anything, broken dreams, it can be anything, jobs, homes, living situations, family relationships, romantic relationships, friendships, creative stuff, all sorts of stuff. It could be anything. You'll know how it applies to you. So let's briefly look at the strength of vulnerability message first of all. Right, okay, this is really brief here. It's just a little brief sentence, as you can see here. It says, your vulnerability is where you recognize your power. Actually, that's quite powerful in itself, because obviously, this talks about other things as well, about strength and inadequacy and stuff like that. But think devil energy, like what holds you back? What are your fears? And I don't know why it's coming out like that, but again, in terms of desires, if you're really vulnerable and think about the things you really want, like think even childlike energy when you were a child, the things you wanted when you were a kid, you didn't give a shit what anybody thought about it. I think for most people that grew up in a healthy environment, you just had your desires and your dreams and you didn't care. You were vulnerable with it, weren't you? And that was a place of power for you, because that's inspiring to you. That means you can go out into the world and pursue whatever you want. But then when you become an adult, that's where we tell ourselves, oh, well, we can't do that, and that's unrealistic, and it's just impossible. And yeah, some things are unrealistic or difficult or whatever, but does it mean it's entirely impossible? Not necessarily, but it's just that we hold ourselves back more when we're adults. So your vulnerability is where you recognize your power. Bear that in mind. So let's look at broken dreams. So only you can accept or reject your dreams. We break our dreams when we cease to believe in them and ourselves. Our attitude toward disappointment, perceived failures, and rejection has the power to derail our confidence. When a prolonged state of defeat and doubt ensues, we not only give up on our dreams and ourselves, but also on what makes us feel alive. It can be hard, but we need to trust that the way to realize our dreams is by persisting and working with the disappointments as well as any perceived failures or rejections. Perceived setbacks are often opportunities to learn to think differently, to develop further, and to explore new ways of realizing our vision. When we interpret and therefore turn challenges into actual setbacks, it can feel like the world has rejected us. In response to this feeling, we give up too soon. The world does not reject us. It cannot. Of course, it may feel like it does, but what is more likely to have transpired is that certain individuals, organizations, and opportunities have said no to us for one thing at one point in time. The world is full of many more individuals, organizations, and opportunities if we continue to say yes to ourselves. In the instance that constructive feedback is given, it can be helpful to consider seriously what is said. We may become aware of something useful. At times, we may also benefit and develop from seeking out another's informed point of view or ongoing mentorship. However, what remains crucial to the realization of our dreams is focus, persistence, appropriate practice and training, and the right timing. People, circumstances, and many other variables outside of our awareness and control need to line up. Furthermore, we need to be ready for our dreams to come true, so that success does not have a distorting effect on us. To abandon your dreams is to abandon yourself. There is no need for this. The Guardian encourages you to explore ways of doing what you love differently. Being flexible with the way that you go about realizing your vision will save you from much unnecessary heartache, regret, lost time, and despair. The Guardian's message says, do what makes you feel alive in your way. Never lose sight of what lights you up and makes your spirit self sing, no matter what. So you could consider the Three of Wands to be the vision, but it's in reverse. So as I said, it could be about doing something differently, setting new intentions, or really being honest with yourself. If there is a broken dream or something's over and you have an opportunity for rebirth now, what is the vision? What is the vision that you want to take with you into the new year? So yeah. I'll leave your message there, Gemini. As you can hear, I'm losing my voice now. I'm already still a bit throaty from the bug or whatever it is. But yeah, thank you for watching and take care. So welcome back, Cancerians. I'm making the most of the Barbie Aries Zodiac Oracle by using the individual sign cards while we do your reading. So we've got the full moon in your sign on the 26th of December in in the UK. So you're probably already aware at this point. I've had to re-record all of the videos in this well, all of the readings in this from Aries through to Virgo, because I had a massive glitch. If you've already heard this, fast forward. I had a massive glitch in the Virgo halfway through the Virgo reading, and the file wouldn't play. It stopped recording, said there was a failure. Couldn't play the file when I tried to play it back, and it's lost. And I'm devastated because the messages were so good. I can actually remember your message, like out of I can't really remember much about the other ones. I know they were good messages, but I can't remember every single detail of them, obviously. Yours, though, I do remember there was very much something about honouring your feelings in the previous one I did for you. I mean, full moon in Cancer, the moon rules Cancer. It can be to do with emotions. Cancer can be connected to emotions, so it doesn't surprise me that you got that. But let's get you your new message and see what comes out. If the same card comes out, it will be bloody hilarious. But let's see what you get this time. So Cancerians, what do you need to know for the full moon in your sign in Cancer on the 26th? And as I've said to the other signs as well, you can take this reading to be relevant until the end of the year as well. I mean, you have the shadow period with the moon anyway, which is around about 3 days either side, but take the message if you want to as relevant until the end of 2023. So Cancerians, what do you need to know for the full moon? So we're getting one message, hopefully just one, from the Lantern Oracle, this deck, and we'll get you some tarot cards as well. Right, you've got a few. Oh, wow. Okay. Ooh, okay. Interesting. You've got Melting Mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. And moving forward. The first step is taken within our stillness. I've said to all the other signs, I'm only reading one full message out of the two because these are quite big, deep messages. So they're very lengthy. A lot of them are very lengthy, and the information is really deep, so it's a lot to take in. So I'm only reading one of them fully, and then I'll read a little. There's a little tiny bit at the end of them. The others I was pretty sure which one I was going to read. This one I'm not so sure. Let's get your tarot cards out and see if I can decide. I feel like it's probably going to be the Melting Mask message. The first step is taken within our stillness. I mean, that is kind of about like not forcing answers and stuff, isn't it? You know, when you're trying to figure stuff out and you try to force the answer out. But let's see what the tarot cards say, because that might sort of... Okay, I think it wants us to look at the moving forward message, to be honest. Right, yeah, I think it's... I was going to say the tarot cards might help us decide, and I feel like the High Priestess is the stillness, isn't it? So I think I'll be reading that one. If anyone does feel that they want to know what the Melting Mask message is about, yeah, this is definitely about the moving forward message. Leave me a comment in the comment section and just let me know, and then I can easily take a photograph of out of the book for this and put it on the community page or something if you really want to know what this says. Yeah, you're welcome to do that. Right, there we go. Yeah, this is about the moving forward. I mean, the Melting Mask is part of it, but this feels more like the moving forward message, because you've got the stuff about your intuition here, the High Priestess. I mean, that's what you kind of have to listen to make a decision, to make a move. You've got the Fool, which can be about taking risks, but then you've got the Knight of Pentacles there. So with the Knight of Pentacles, it can be a funny one, because upright, the Knight of Pentacles is known to be the slowest knight in the deck anyway. So when it's in reverse, the question is does that mean you're going even slower, like you're literally at a standstill, or does that mean you're not as slow? I feel like it's more along the lines of being at a standstill. You may be deciding whether or not you want to take a risk or move in a new direction with something, but you could be at a standstill at the minute, because it's like a waiting period of trying to decide what to do. The melting mask card, that can interfere with things, because if one of the reasons you might be needing to use your intuition, like think of this, think of one example of, like, say you have a parent, whether it is a mother or a father, where their whole life, especially if they're a single parent as well, is just around taking care of the kids and the family and stuff like that. That is their main role. So they're somebody's and even if it's not a single parent actually, so they're a parent, they're a spouse, they're a child. Like, say you've got elderly parents as well and you have to take care of them, you've got your work on, like those are some of the masks and the roles that you have to fulfill that can just completely take over your entire life. And it's like, some people get to the point where they're like, well, where am I in that? Like, who am I outside of all of those responsibilities and roles that I'm playing? What is my identity? What do I actually want? If I'm not saying you want to get rid of all of that, but say if you had the opportunity to sort of go off and live across the other side of the world from all of those people and responsibilities for 6 months, like say you won the lottery or something and you could just piss off on your own for 6 months by yourself, like away from the family and everything. I'm not saying you'd completely cut contact off with them, but just by yourself. What would you do? Like, who would you be? What would you want to do? How would you want to spend your time? What would you be like without all of those roles and responsibilities? Think about that. That's something to think of. Like, how would you move forward if that happened? You know, so it's that thinking about who you are, what's your identity, what do you want, how do you want to move forward. So that's one way of looking at it. Let's get the book. I mean, it could just relate to one specific thing in your life that you are trying to figure out and deciding whether to take a risk on it or not, but you haven't quite made that move yet, because upright, then the Knight of Pentacles can be taking steps, but you want to do it right, don't you? You want to take your time, take the necessary steps. You don't just want to I don't know why the word fudge it is coming to mind. I don't even use that word in my real life, but you know, you want to take the right steps and be diligent about it and take your time doing it. But let's see the melting mask one. So the brief message at the end, the mother's message from the melting mask card says, it is important for a mask to melt once the function it had served tips into detrimentally constricting us at our highest level. So again, going back to that thing about having all the roles of being something to other people, it can get detrimental, can't it, when you do too much for other people and you're always like everybody else is a priority and you're last on your list. That's when it becomes detrimental. There are other ways that can come about as well. Like again, another example would be if you've been in a particular job for a very long time, but it's just not in alignment with you. People can have 20-year careers and it's like, I don't even feel connected to what I'm doing. So that's another way. It can be in relationships too, romantic relationships, where you know that you're just incompatible and it's just a weird situation where you're disconnected from your partner, and maybe you've tried multiple times to make it work and it's just like, there's just nothing here anymore, it's dead. Like, maybe you still care about them, but the relationship and the bond is not the same. It's like you've outgrown it or something. That can happen as well. So the same thing can happen in friendships and those kind of things as well. But I don't know why I put the book down, because I still need it. So moving forward, the moving forward card, it says the first step is taken within our stillness. So when we feel stuck, tired, I'm getting a dry throat, stuck, tired or uninspired, we typically seek change, movement or stimulation by adding something new to our lives. We may also be advised to do so by well-meaning individuals. The assumption being that an external alteration is the solution to our dissatisfaction. However, to only change the appearance of our lives typically eventuates in the new place, career path, partner, activity or hobby losing its novel appeal and ending as abruptly as it began. Like a caged rat within its spinning wheel, our restless search for something, somewhere or someone different resumes. Oversight to the futility of superficial change potentially sends us on a wildly blind and even reckless search for things to change about our lives and who we seem to be. This is all motivated by the false belief that we are indeed improving ourselves and advancing. Rarely do we stop, ask the questions, I think it means stop to ask the questions. Have I actually moved? Has anything really changed? Why, after the initial buzz of something new, do I feel the same inside? Instead of such self-inquiry, we chase after further means of escape in the multitude of distractions available to us. This buries and separates us further from accessing the satisfying state of being that we seek. Therefore, it serves us well to recall the truism, less is more. That instead of adding more to our lives to move forward, less is actually required. Releasing all that we no longer need to carry within moves us imperceptibly and yet irreversibly forward. Such a significant and sustainable change is then able to be genuinely reflected in our external lives. If our internal baggage remains in the same spot, so do we. Nature teaches us this through example. Its cycles of decay, regeneration, and growth model the true meaning of forward movement. Every year, fruit-bearing trees die to their fruitful self and shed their leaves. They release all of their dead weight. Sorry, bear with me one moment. Sorry about that, sorry, nearly called you Gemini then, Cancer. Right, so its cycles of decay, regeneration and growth model the true meaning of forward movement. Every year, fruit-bearing trees die to their fruitful self and shed their leaves. They release all of their dead weight to recreate anew in spring. What remains of the tree in winter is that which sustains it, extending itself ever upward and outward towards the sun. Through the winter, the remaining tree trunk and branches seem to be in stillness. However, it is from all that is unseen within its trunk and beneath the soil that the newness of its life emerges. Should we remain still long enough, the beginnings of our true movement forward will come from within. This card shows up to invite you to sit within the cacophony of your presence. Shut your eyes to the drama and review your inner landscape. Know that everything you release from within this stillness is a step taken forward. Moving forward in the physical plane through the form of a new location, job, project, or relationship only works when it reflects the new territory one has already arrived at from within. The Guardian's message, what we leave behind releases us forward. Right, that's interesting. So it still stands what I said originally, but obviously there is another element or side to it as well of releasing excess baggage, and I quite like that message, and the masks may be part of that as well. One example I can give for that is, you know, if you're the kind of person who goes from different, like likes to try a lot of different jobs or different things, and you just keep going from thing to thing to thing to thing, but it's like you never find what you're looking for. It's that, isn't it, where it's like, hang on a minute, you need to kind of stay still. I mean, that can be different masks on it. If you're doing constantly doing different roles, you do one role, you don't like that, you do another role, you don't like that, and there's nothing wrong with trying different things. But if you get to a point where you find that no matter how many times I change things, it's not working, then there's definitely something where you need to be still and sort of assess what it is that you truly want. Really consider what it is you truly want. And this here, I mean, I think I mentioned you want to do it right, don't you? You want to get it right. You don't want it to just be on a whim again, like the Fool would be on a whim. You really want to get to the depth of it with the High Priestess and figure out what it is so that you can actually fully commit to something that really feels valuable and can be probably more long-term, more fruitful, more just beneficial long-term. So I think that's it. That's an interesting message. I might have to review that one myself, actually, because I admit I do struggle with I always feel like I'm not quite where I need to be, so it's very difficult, and I make a lot of changes and it's just like, but I feel like nothing's changed. Like I change everything on the outside and nothing's changed, and even internally sometimes I feel like I've grown or awakened or whatever's happened internally, but it's like not much has changed in my life overall. So yeah, interesting message. I'll leave it there for you, Cancer. Thank you very much for watching. I would say just get into the heart of what it is you really need, what it is you really need to let go of. For a start is the main thing. What it is you really need to let go of to help you figure out what it is you really want and how you can move forward from that. So yeah, leave it there. Thank you very much for watching and take care. So welcome back, Leo. As you can see, I am making use of the Barbie ARIES Zodiac Oracle. So here is the Leo card, and I may as well let you know straight away if you don't already know, because the order I'm recording these videos in is, yeah, it'll make sense probably if you watch the whole thing. I had a massive glitch when I recorded in the middle of doing the Virgo reading. So everything from Aries to halfway through Virgo, sorry, Aries to Leo to yours, I've had to re-record. Yours was the last full reading I was able to give before the glitch happened. It happened in the Virgo video. The file wouldn't play when I tried to play it back because it cut out, and yeah, lost the file now. So I don't think I'm going to be able to recover it. So I've had to re-record. I do remember in your reading, the previous recording, the original one of the questions that came up was, like, I think you got the card that Cancer just got when I've re-recorded theirs, called Melting Masks. So if there is any sort of, if you're wearing a mask metaphorically, or if there's a false sense of confidence around you, and I am going to get you a brand new message, but this has stuck with me, so I think I'm going to mention it again, if I can remember what it was. So, you know, like, say if you seem like you're pretty confident anyway, or you feel like you're showing up and you're being authentic, but you know, we can behave differently around different people, and there's nothing wrong with that. We can't be 100% consistent and behave exactly the same way with everyone. That's just, I mean, if you can do that, great. But for most of us, there's going to be slight differences. Like at work, you might be more professional. Your friends, you're going to be more relaxed. Your family, depending on which family member it is, your behavior can change there a little bit as well. But when there's like a drastic change in who you are, and it gets to the point where you're actually being inauthentic with some people, yeah, that can come into play as well. Some stuff did come up about people potentially coming out of the closet. Not saying that you needed to do that or not needed to do that, just the question came up about if anyone's in the closet. And yes, that could be in terms of sexual orientation, sexuality, preferences, spirituality, anything, like if you've got any secrets of stuff that you're into. Like I think in a reading I did earlier in the week, I mentioned something about if you're someone who's into cosplay but you keep it a secret because you think people think you're weird, you know, stuff like that. When I say preferences, I mean stuff like that. But are you really being is there any false sense of confidence? And you know, like sometimes, I mean, I think I mentioned in that one around Christmas, you can be around certain family members, like you might be confident everywhere else, and then when you come into contact with certain family members, you kind of putting on a mask. And I don't know, it's hard for me to remember specifically what was said, and I am pissed off that I lost the messages because I feel like they were really good, and I know the Leo one was pretty good as well. But yeah, that's what comes to mind here. But anyway, I'm getting you a brand new message, and we're going to see what comes out here. I'm really hoping that I'm still going to try and retrieve the file, and if I retrieve it, I am actually going to just yeah, I'm going to put that up too as a little added bonus. I mean, obviously from Virgo onwards they'll only get one message, but you know, it is what it is. But I really want to recover the file because the messages were brilliant. I loved it. Anyway, what does Leo need to know for the full moon in Cancer, 26th of December? And you can consider this to be a full moon message. And I mean, you have a shadow period with full moons, 3 days before and after, around about that. So you might want to consider this relevant to, God, everybody's bloody getting this one now, the end of the week. Yeah, sorry, not end of the week, end of the year. So you might want to consider the message relevant to the end of the year. You know what? It's already a little bit similar with key to intimacy, because in terms of intimacy, this was the key one that came up in the Virgo. This is where it cut out, was when this message came up, key to intimacy. Virgo was the only one to get it, I believe. And then after that, when I started doing the other readings after Virgo and re-recording, a few other signs have got it now. So, I mean, Cancer is to do with emotions. The moon is hidden depths, hidden emotions. Intimacy is probably very, very relevant at this point, and that's why there was a glitch. And it's like, no, people need to know about intimacy, because intimacy, it's not just sexual, is it? It's about connection, it's about opening up, it's about sharing the hidden parts of yourself, isn't it? And creating a deeper bond with people based on that. So it says, intimate love is a core need, sorry about the glare, to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. So, I mean, as I say, I don't mind re-recording, but I really liked the original messages and I really want to find them and post those too. So I guess by the time this comes up, this video comes out, you'll know whether or not the originals were discovered. But I'm pretty determined when I put my mind to it, so maybe, we'll see. But it's just invisible at the minute. So, Leo. What does Leo need to know for the full moon? Knight of Swords, Ace of Cups. I mean, that could be intimacy in itself. Like the cards that have come out, because the Knight of Swords is sharing your truth, isn't it? It's being honest. The Ace of Cups is emotions. It's how you feel, and it can be about having that cup to offer, the emotions to offer and share. And it's depth of emotion too. Like it can be overflowing emotions, depth of emotion. Let's get one more. Excuse me. So one more for Leo, please. Yeah. Why do I get a feeling about there's a possibility that somebody might be, oh God, this is going to sound a little bit corny now, but somebody confessing their feelings to someone over this period of, actually, you know what, that's not that far-fetched. I think if there was any moon or one of the moons or periods of time when people would open up about how they feel, whoa, okay, it would be in a Cancerian one, because as I've said, it can trigger emotions. And the full moon, it's a time of release. It's a time of release. It's a time of fruition, completion. It can potentially be a time of people opening up. It's a time when people can be more in tune with their emotions and feel the pressure to let it out. And I feel like it's a thought I have, and I feel like I've read that from astrologers as well. I mean, feel free to sort of look, read articles on astrology, and if there are any particular astrologers that you like, but it wouldn't surprise me. No guarantee, but it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, you've got the Ace of Swords there. That is another card of clarity, truth. You've got Judgment there, which can be about second chances. So, sometimes when readers say somebody could be coming back from the past, I'm not literally seeing something from the past here, but Judgment can be a card of second chances. So, and it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be any situation where somebody's been holding back some sort of feelings and wants to express them. I mean, it could be somebody's pissed off with someone, to be honest, and wants to express that. But yeah, so you've got a card of truth and sharing truth with the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords literally takes action to express truth. You've got love there, overflowing love. You've got the Page of Pentacles, which can often be about starting a new seed, planting a new seed, should I say, having a new beginning. Ace of Swords, again, I said it can be communication, clarity, and you've got the Judgment there. Judgment card again, reviewing the past, second chances. So, I mean, I know it's Christmas time, New Year's, that sort of period. Sorry, I've got a really dry throat and I'm just getting over a bit of a bug. So let me just have a drink. Been talking all day. Right, yeah. So as I was saying, Judgment, second chances. So where was I? Yeah, it might not necessarily be romantic, but because of the Christmas period of being around different family members and stuff like that, and sometimes people you haven't seen in a very long time, it is an opportunity for people to possibly have like heart-to-heart conversations, whether it is family, friends, old lovers, new lovers, whatever, and to open up. And that is a form of intimacy, isn't it? Emotional intimacy, opening up to people. You could start if you have had any issues with someone, whether it is platonic or romantic, it could be a time for like having a new slate, like to get a clean slate, to open up, share your truths with each other and have a clean slate. So you've got a slightly different message. I mean, it is in terms of authenticity from the other message, and what did I say, that false confidence thing. I mean, intimacy, it's about being your real self, not wearing a mask and showing who you really are, how you really feel. That's carried over. But the intimacy here, I mean, again, you do have the sharing your truth thing and how you feel, but it feels more like, yeah, there could be something with interactions with people and shared intimacy in that, more of a shared intimacy in that way, like very on a very personal level. So let's get in the book and look at this. You are the last one I'm recording now. Hopefully if it glitches out again at the end of this, I'm going to go ballistic. No, I'll just have to re-record. I won't be happy, to be frank. I am going to be pissed off if anything happens, but yeah, we'll see. So, key to intimacy. Intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. The Page of Pentacles is a card of learning as well. The Judgment card could be considered, I mean, to be frank, the Ace of Swords and the Judgment card could be cards of learning as well, because Ace of Swords can be about your beliefs too, and judgment. If you are reviewing the past and considering doing things in a different way, or new opportunities, new chances, you learn something from the past, don't you, so that you can move forward. So regardless of whether we have received unconditional love while growing up, I mean, that can be unconditional love too, coming to know and accept ourselves in such a manner is challenging. Unconditional self-love is necessary, and there is a learning curve for being able to allow another to see into us and accept all that we are and are not. This includes our most raw and least flattering shades. We all have them. It is desirable but not easy to let a deserving other into our lives deep enough to know our full spectrum. Once we can know, accept and love all of who and what we are, we become fully available for another to accept the totality of us too. It also builds in us the strength and integrity to walk away from those who cannot genuinely respect or accept us, rather than internalizing their judgment, rejection, or desire to change certain parts of us. Developing the capacity to honor and care for ourselves, despite our flaws and shortcomings, also equips us to hold loving space for others without judgment, conditions, control, or petty rejection. The journey to self-intimacy further teaches us the value and beauty of our flaws. We learn to recognize any challenge that tests the intimate space we share with another as an opportunity to grow closer and stronger from working through it together. The purpose of obstacles is not to create distance or stop us, but to enrich, further connect, and expand us. Intimacy is as much about accepting each other's differences, struggles, and uniqueness as it is about respecting one another's boundaries. The key to intimacy with another leads to knowing, valuing, and supporting each other's paths. While it is necessary for our paths to be parallel and be faced in the same direction, it is essential for them not to enmesh. Be careful to whom you trust the key for your heart. The featured mother wishes to remind you that pure love, respect, and integrity use what is uncovered to lift, support, protect, care about, and empower you. In any instance that a person should prove unworthy of the key you have entrusted them with by using it for anything untoward, change the lock. It is never okay to have this sacred trust disrespected or abused. You always hold the right to take back your power. The same holds you in regard to another's trust. Be equally honourable to and respectful of how you treat any key given to you. If you ever need to hand a key back, do so. In respect of the intimacy you had once shared with this individual, continue to manage with integrity and discretion what was exposed in trust to you. The mother's message says to see into yourself with the eyes of love allows for another to see unconditionally into you too. Of equal importance is that it in turn allows you to lovingly see others in this way. Right, so if at any point I sounded like a robot, it's because I was trying not to choke because I've got a tickly throat. But anyway, yeah, so while I was reading that, the Ace of Swords, all I kept on thinking about was respect, integrity, dignity. So although for some this may be an opportunity to share intimacy with another, to open up, whether it's someone coming to you, you going to them, for some this might be more of like an internal exploration and an investigation into your own intimacy, and through that you might learn something about how you want to be respected, what your integrity is, it might be something about dignity here. And if you are in a situation where someone has been disrespectful for you in any way, it might be a case of you setting your boundaries with the Ace of Swords. That might be boundaries. I mean, as I say, it feels like respect, dignity, integrity. That can be used to set boundaries. If that's your truth, you can use that to set boundaries as well with people. And it's almost like here, if you are having to set a boundary with someone and they're just not up to it, because the Page of Pentacles sometimes can be where somebody just they can't offer you what you deserve. Deserve is the only way I can think of it. So again, like relationship wise, it's the easiest example to go to. I've said it before. If you wanted a committed relationship with somebody, the Page of Pentacles in the beginning stage, fine. If you've been with someone for 2 years and they're still Page of Pentacles and you're Queen of Pentacles or something like that, or King of Pentacles even, yeah, that's a complete mismatch. It's like they're not ready to match to be on the same page as you. I'll put it that way. They're not ready to be on the same page as you, and that's a case of can they meet that? Can they grow up really quickly? I don't know. People can't. Yeah, you can't like. What's the word? You can't bypass and just suddenly go from Page of Pentacles to King of Pentacles, can you? You've got to go through the different stages of Knight, Queen, etc. if they can't match that, you might feel that it's not in alignment with your level of respect, the respect that you require, your dignity, your integrity, and you might feel like it's just not going to work. And then it's like setting the boundary with that, speaking your truth, and then it's like, right, I've made my decision, I've reviewed the situation, I've made my decision, I'm going to give myself a second chance elsewhere. If it's not that it's one person where you kind of sort of reconciling is the only way I can think to put it, and sort of hashing things out, having a heart-to-heart, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it does say a personal issue reaches resolution, and I think I've said to every sign, if you haven't already seen it, I did a video called Intimacy, Embracing Intimacy, Sensuality and Your Sexual Side, where I talk about intimacy in terms of the different types of intimacy, not just sex. It's we talk about intellectual intimacy, emotional intimacy, that kind of thing, like feeling safe and different things. So that might be useful to you if you want to watch that, because you've got the intimacy card. Also, you might want to refer back to this message that I read at before I started doing the individual sign messages as well, because I said at the beginning, if you didn't already see it, if you have a question, ask the question to the universe, whatever you believe in, and whatever's in the book here that might help you to resolve the issue. So yeah, I'll leave it there for you, Leo. Thank you very much for watching. That's all I have to say. Take care. Okay, Virgo, so I've just had a major camera glitch where it just stopped recording, said there was a fault with it, and it looks like all of the videos I've recorded from Aries through to Leo up until till this point might have gone, like I might not be able to salvage it, but I said I'm not going to start from scratch right now. So these are the messages that came out for you. I did shuffle them. Obviously you won't see that if I can't salvage the original video, but these are what came out for you. So it's the full moon messages for the 26th of December, full moon in Cancer, the 26th of December. You might want to take these messages for the rest of the year as well. So if I can remember what I was originally saying for you. So first of all, you've got your Virgo card out from the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle. You got Key to Intimacy from the Lantern Oracle, which I am going to read the whole message from the book. Well, I did read it, and then I looked at the camera and it said it was it had stopped recording, and yeah. And you got Distorted Desire. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. So I was saying that, if I can remember now, you might have some issue in terms of intimacy. There's like a romantic vibe here. If it's not romantic, then it's just friendships, family, whatever, but there is an intimacy element. And intimacy, I said that I mentioned that I've previously recorded a video called Embracing Intimacy, Sensuality and Your Sexual Side, so you might find that useful for you, especially if there are any intimacy issues in relationships for you, whether it is sexual, emotional, intellectual, whatever. There are different types of intimacy. I did say that I picked up on a sexual vibe from the Ace of Wands, which it doesn't always happen, but sometimes, and it's not just because it's with the lovers, but yeah, sometimes on its own, the Ace of Wands, I get a sexual vibe. I said that there is something here for you with romantic relationships, very likely, and in terms of friendships, community, family as well, that's here. And there could be something with the balance here where say if you're in a romantic relationship, you may have issues where there needs to be some sort of acknowledgement that it's all great having the passion, sex, connection, whatever, but you may need to consider, if you want this to be something longer term, considering the foundation of it. So in longer term, strong relationships, there's usually a foundation of friendship, isn't there, and genuine love and support, because all that passion, sex, desire, whatever, that alone can't make it last and can't sustain it. There's not enough. I mean, you've got the sexual intimacy, but then the emotional and intellectual intimacy might not be there as well. So I'm going to attempt to read these things again, and hopefully the camera doesn't cut out, because there were some really good messages that came out from through Aries to Leo. So I'm really praying that I can salvage it. I don't know if I can, and I don't really want to have to record it again. But yeah, let's get on with yours. So as I said, from the Distorted Desire message, I read the last little bit, just the last few sentences, because there's like a little message at the end of that, and then I'll read the full message for Key to Intimacy. So Distorted Desire, I'm going to constantly be looking at the camera now just in case. It says, Mother's message says, once we get clear on what our heart's core desire is and therefore need, we are ready to recognize it in whatever form it takes and to receive it. Make the space for your heart's true longing to come in by freeing yourself of any illusions still haunting you. So one thing you can take from this, I mean, take it how you will anyway, but one thing you can take from this, like especially in romantic relationships, you know, when you have kind of unrealistic or limiting non-negotiables or what needs, you know, like some people are like, oh well, I'll only date people who are this height, this size, make this amount of money, blah blah blah, that sort of thing. So that can be one thing. Or certain personality types are like, oh, I only date people with this type of personality or that type of personality. And it's like, I get that you want somebody that you're going to connect and bond with, and there may be some personalities that you are very likely to clash with, but until you get to know each other, you don't know, do you? So, you know, why limit yourself? So there's that. And I also said, it mentioned what is your heart's core desire? And I gave an example for myself that I said I was very much a loner, or a loner for quite a lot of my childhood, part of my childhood, and I've still grown up to be kind of a loner. Like it's a little bit different now, but I've kind of got used to it, and I am capable of socializing and everything, but I do like my own company, so I'm a loner. And for a very long time as a child, I wanted a best friend. Also growing up, I was one of those people that wanted to meet the love of my life, get married, etc., those kind of things. Hasn't happened. I'm single. But yeah, I think I did get to a point where I realized that part of the reason I wanted a partner, like when I've really felt lonely and wanted a romantic partner, I realized it's actually that I wanted a best friend. I mean, obviously I do want the passion, spiritual connection, sexual connection, that too, but I think for me the main thing was best friend, and I still want that. If I ever find anyone to settle down with, I want them to be my best friend too, but that was at the heart of what I wanted in terms of relationships. And there's different ways of having that. Like anybody could be your best friend, couldn't they? Like an acquaintance could become your best friend. A family member could be your best friend. You can be your own best friend. There's different ways. But the point is, look at the heart of your desire. What is the heart of what you really want? So now we're going to get on to key to intimacy, and pray that the camera doesn't cut out again, although I'm pretty devastated that I've already lost loads of work, because it was a lot of work I've put in. So key to intimacy is 21. So it says, intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. So that's important, learning what love is not. So it says, and I am connected up to everything, aren't I? Regardless of whether we have received unconditional love while growing up, coming to know and accept ourselves in such a manner is challenging. Unconditional self-love is necessary, and there is a learning curve for being able to allow another to see into us and accept all that we are and are not. This includes our most raw and least flattering shades. We all have them. It is desirable but not easy to let a deserving other into our lives deep enough to know our full spectrum. Once we know, accept, and love all of who and what we are, we become fully available for another to accept the totality of us too. It also builds in us the strength and integrity to walk away from those who cannot genuinely respect or accept us, rather than internalizing their judgment, rejection, or desire to change certain parts of us. Developing the capacity to honor and care for ourselves despite our flaws and shortcomings also equips us to hold loving space for others without judgment, conditions, control, or petty rejection. The journey to self-intimacy further teaches us the value and beauty of our flaws. We learn to recognize any challenge that tests the intimate space we share with another as an opportunity to grow closer and stronger from working through it together. The purpose of obstacles is not to create distance or stop us, but to enrich, further connect, and expand us. Intimacy is as much about accepting each other's differences, struggles, and uniqueness as it is about respecting one another's boundaries. The key to intimacy with another leads to knowing, valuing, and supporting each other's paths. While it is necessary for our paths to parallel and be faced in the same direction, it is essential for them not to enmesh. Be careful to whom you trust the key for your heart. The featured mother wishes to remind you that pure love, respect, and integrity use what is uncovered to lift, support, protect, care about, and empower you. In any instance that a person should prove unworthy of the key you have entrusted them with by using it for anything untoward, change the lock. It is never okay to have this sacred trust disrespected or abused. You always hold the right to take back your power. The same holds with you in regard to another's trust. Be equally honorable 2, and respectful of how you treat any key given to you. If you ever need to hand a key back, do so. In respect of the intimacy you had once shared with this individual, continue to manage with integrity and discretion what was exposed in trust to you. Mother's message says to see you into yourself with the eyes of love allows for another to see unconditionally into you too. Of equal importance is that it in turn allows you to lovingly see others this way. So that was pretty deep. I don't think there's much I can add to that. I mean, full moon in Cancer, I mean, that is about emotions as well, isn't it? So there really could be a theme about emotional intimacy here, whether it is romantic, which there is a strong vibe of that, or it is more to do with family and friends. So you got a pretty long message compared to everyone else, because I had to go on about what happened with the camera. So there's your message, Virgo, for the full moon in Cancer and for the end of the year. Wishing you all the best. Take care. Welcome back, Libra. So we have your card, Libra card, from the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle deck, so we know what we're dealing with or who we're dealing with. So I'm going to get your message from the Lantern Oracle first of all. It's gone blurry, hasn't it? Lantern Oracle first of all, and then I'll get you about 3 tarot cards. So for the full moon in Cancer, full moon in Cancer, 26th of December, and you can take this message to be for the full moon and for the rest of the year too. For the rest of 2023, what is the message for Libra, please? What is the rest of the message for Libra? Itchy nose. What's the message for Libra, please? Did I say rest of the message? I think I'm a bit distracted because I just had a massive camera glitch doing Virgo's message, and I've lost from Aries through to Leo, so hopefully I'll get that resolved. I'm not taking those. We've had about 4 cards fall on the floor, so bear with me. Well, it's 3 actually, but it's too many. Yeah, that is quite a lot, to be honest. So let's try that again. I mean, I'll tell you what they are, just so you know. You've got false beliefs, spirit self, and enough. Wow. I mean, that gives a whole self-worth vibe. But as I said, that's quite a lot. So I'm going to try again. So fast forward if you don't want to see me shuffling. If you know, just wait until you see the card fly out. Let's try that again. So Libra, if it wants to come out. Virgo, it's funny because Virgo's message was to do with intimacy, and the cards, if I'm thinking correctly, the cards struggled to come out, if I remember rightly, unless it was the reading before theirs. Could have been Leo actually that struggled, but right, there we go. You have melting mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. So we're going to get you some tarot cards out as well. And I'm constantly looking at the camera now to make sure it doesn't do that glitch thing again. Because as I say, it's devastating when you put that much time and energy into it and it's just gone. And I'm praying that I can rescue the video. But it is what it is, isn't it? So any more messages for Libra for the full moon in Cancer on the 26th, and as I said, you can take the message for the rest of 2023 as well, to be valuable for that too. So you've got the Magician. That is the many roles you fulfill, isn't it? What you're capable of. Yeah, this Magician. I've got a thing with this Magician from the Gilded Tarot that sometimes he looks sinister, but he is very capable, isn't he? He can master his multiple skills. He can multitask. He can master many skills. Right, so you've got quite a few actually. I was only meaning to take 3. I will take them all because they've all come out. So you've got the 10 of Pentacles. You've got Temperance, and you have the 10 of Wands. So I'm not favouring you. I mean, I've said a minimum of 3. If more come out than that, then I'll do the same for whoever else that happens to. So, I mean, you've got a card of burden here with that 10 of Wands. And then you have the card of harmony there with Temperance. So I would say Well, first of all, you've got a reference to the past here. So in terms of this fulfilling many roles, is this what has been expected of you, or what you've done in the past is trying to fulfill many roles, and then you get to the point where it's like, well, hang on, who am I? You know, you don't even know who you are anymore or what your purpose is anymore. Has that all been in a quest to maintain stability with that Ten of Pentacles, which is, yep, you may have done that in the past, but now who do you want to be to have your long-term stability now? You know, like that legacy energy, like what do you want your legacy to be? If all you've done previously is fulfill different roles and wear different masks to the point where you may not even know who you are anymore, it's like it's a time now to sort of think, right, well, who am I? Who do I really want to be? And then what is the plan with this long term? Like, again, truly, who is my legacy? And then you get that's where you get the sort of the harmony, the equilibrium, the balance. It's like connecting with your real self and your real purpose, isn't it? Rather than having the burden of just trying to be what you're expected to be for everybody else or in society, or however you want to put it. So let's read the message. Still making sure I'm recording. So 16, we have, allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. Right, a role becomes a mask when it distorts, constricts, or conceals rather than reflects a true expression of our spirit self. A mask typically arises out of the ego's desire to be real and in control when in fact it is neither. The ego, like the body and emotions, are tools. Their function, when used appropriately and proportionately, is to give authentic form and expression to our spirit self. Drawing this card signifies the impending loss of a mask to encounter an event or a circumstance that incites its melting. A period of confusion, turmoil, or grief may follow this mask's dissolution. It had once served you in some way, therefore it is a loss that can take some adjusting to, especially if there remains a significant identification with an attachment to this mask. The featured mother wishes to ensure that to assure you that the dissolution of any mask is a blessing. With time, you will begin to see that losing the image of who you thought you were or had believed that you needed to be is in fact the liberating path to experiencing all the more that you are. To support you through this time of impending change, tune into your spirit self's light, love, and stillness. Observe which roles in your life feel good, natural, and autonomous. Ask yourself, what are my main roles at this moment? What does each one mean to me? Would I be more or less of myself without it? Would I be seen by others to be more or less without it? Such roles may include mother, daughter, friend, employee, employer, partner, student, or volunteer. Then ask which of these roles are draining, which are energizing, are any fraught with drama or boring? Do any feel like masks stifling me through obligations I often resent rather than lovingly fulfill? Upon reviewing the answers to these questions, is there a current role that functions more like a constricting mask that you would love to lose or would be terrified of melting? Regardless of how you answer, it is important to keep in mind that you are, in essence, none of the roles that you have or wish to fulfill, nor any of the restrictive masks of concealment that they may have or might turn into. At most, a role can transparently and joyously express an aspect of your spirit self. Life is always better when you know which roles are fulfilling for you. Be sure to prioritize and enjoy them wherever and whenever possible. Mother's message says it is important for a mask to melt once the function it had served tips into detrimentally constricting us at our highest level. I had a bunch of messages coming through reading that, and I don't know if I'm going to remember them all. So in terms of this magician, this is what really stands out for me. So in terms of masks, there can be so many different masks here. So one of them can be capability, you know, when people take on too much and do too much and they're like, oh, well, they have this thing in their head where it's like, I need to seem like I can cope with everything, even though it's far too much. There's the multitasking, which that is a part of. It's your personality with different people. Like, do you behave? And I'm not saying that we all have to behave the same way with the same people 100% of the time. Obviously, we're going to be a little bit different with everybody, but is there dramatic differences in the person you are with one group of people or in one place compared to the person who you are in different environments? Like, is it to the point where it's actually inauthentic rather than just being a little bit different? There's that. So that can be work life, home life, friends. There can be differences there. In terms of romantic relationships, so you'd really being your authentic self with friendships as well. The list literally goes on, but it's a case of kind of establishing who are you, who do you want to be, and how that can be a part of your legacy. And I don't mean legacy in terms of, oh, well, you have to create something massive that you can be remembered by. Your legacy is who you were. It's yourself. It's just you, the memory that people will have of you when you're gone. Will that memory be a memory of a person that was authentic, the memory, an authentic memory, like who you really were, or who you presented yourself to be? So I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, we'll leave that there. Thank you for watching, Libra. Take care. Okay, welcome back, Scorpio. So as you can see, I am making use of the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle. So we've got your card here, the Scorpio card. We're going to start off with your message from the Lantern Oracle. So for the full moon in Cancer, 26th of December. And you can take this message to be for the whole end of the year, to be honest, for the rest of 2023. It's only about a week after the full moon anyway. So what is the message for Scorpio from the Lantern Oracle, please? What's the message for Scorpio? Right, you've got two. I will only be reading one of them because these are very long messages. Okay, so you've got the unknown, knowing the unknown, and you also have distorted desire. Conscious desire rarely satisfies the unconscious need driving it. So this, I'll read the unknown message fully, and I'll read a little bit of the distorted desire message. There's a little bit at the end where it's just a brief message. You might be trying to, I mean, I'm just thinking, I have recorded, I just recorded water signs before I started this message. So I've done water, I've done signs for the elements, videos for the elements, like a what you need to know 2024 video, which you'll probably see. And there was one particular, I think the last message I did in that was for the water signs. It was very much about someone trying to figure something out. And then you've got the unknown there. I have seen this message before and it's quite interesting. So I think I'll take that one as the main one. Let's get your tarot cards out. If I can actually shuffle the cards. They're struggling. So anything else for Scorpio, please? And I did actually, when I was doing that message, I'm going to try that again. When I was doing that last message for water signs, because it's for all water signs, so Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, I did get strong Scorpio vibes in it. I'm not going to lie. I don't think I mentioned it in the video, but it felt like Scorpio energy, strangely. But yeah, it's giving a similar vibe here, to be honest. So any other messages for Scorpio for the full moon and rest of 2023, please? So Scorpio, true dramatic fashion. You've got that one there. There's one on the floor, which I'll pick up in a minute. So I said minimum of 3. If more come out, that's fine. Right, Queen of Wands. And I mean, the Queen of Wands is desire, isn't it? 8 of Pentacles. It's giving a similar vibe because this 8 of Pentacles, I think it, I mean, not to spoil the video, the water sign video, but that was the first card that came out in that reading, in the pick a card reading. So it feels like a possible blockage with the 8 of Wands there, because I know there can be something about communication with the 8 of Wands, but for me it's usually either, well, usually for the most part it's progression, and then sometimes it's communication. Here it feels more like there's something to do with progression. It's where you're working on something, you're focused on something, might even be learning something, you're giving your attention to something, but there's a little bit of a blockage in terms of the progression with that. With the Queen of Wands, it's like the desire's there. It's a bit of a weird, it's a weird one. It is a bit of a weird one. Because as I say, I can see the desire there, but it's like there's a blockage. There's a bit of a blockage in terms of what you're doing. It's almost like there's a blockage on what you're doing and how you get to this point of really getting what you want. So let's look at these messages. So I'm going to be looking at the camera constantly because I had a mad glitch with the Virgo video and I think I've lost all the videos from Aries through to Leo, which I'm not happy about. And I'm probably going to say in every one of the rest of the readings now. Hopefully I can salvage it, but we'll see. I mean, it's not so much about having to record again. It's just that, you know, and you got some really good message and it's like, shit, I can't even remember what the, there's no way I can remember what all 5 other messages said now, and you've lost them, and it's the disappointment of that, but it is what it is. Right, the distorted desire card. So the brief little message at the end says, once we get clear on what our heart's core desire is and therefore need, we are ready to recognize it in whatever form it takes and to receive it. Make the space for your heart's true longing to come in by freeing yourself of any illusion still haunting you. Right, and then we're going to look at the unknown message. So it says, it is natural and human to feel reluctant and fearful at the beginning of a significant change. Change confronts us with so many unknowns and such overwhelming feelings that challenge us whenever an unfamiliar direction is taken. However, to never try something new or cease to continue when things change is to go against life's natural rhythm of continued growth and transformation. What is known can quickly become comfortably familiar, as well as stifling to our gradual yet ongoing progression. The price we pay to stay in what is known is stagnation and fear. Trust that you have the sufficient skills and knowledge to navigate your way through an unknown aspect of your life. It may be that you have avoided or put off changing your career, changing locations, committing to a new project, starting a family, or ending a relationship for some time now. If so, this card has shown up to remind you that if you do nothing different, nothing changes. You are so much more than the accumulation of your fears. You are capable of moving forward despite any uncertainty that you might feel. You have everything it takes to choose the unknown and embrace change by focusing on what your next step requires. Any and every journey is the result of taking one step into the unknown at a time. The Maiden's message says, once you choose to keep moving, the next step will be made known to you. Okay, so elaborating on that thing where it says, if you do nothing different, nothing changes. In the 8 of Pentacles, the person is doing very repetitive work. So it's making me think of that saying, I'm going to butcher it anyway, about the meaning of madness is something like when you do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. So that comes to mind here, and that could apply to anything. It could apply to your relationships, your day-to-day life, your literal job, your work, whatever you're doing. If there is some level of repetition to it, how do you feel about that? Like in terms of desire, are you happy about doing that? Does it feel like a means to an end? You know, how do you feel about it? Because are you repeating like a cycle or something, or doing something over and over again, expecting things to change and it's not? And then why are you doing that? Is there a reason why you don't want to do it differently? Why you don't want things to change or do it or try it differently? That does come to mind. I'm trying to. There is a thought I've got in terms of how it connects to that distorted desire, and I can't get it out. Like I can't express what I'm trying to say, or what I'm feeling, because it's more like a feeling than a thought. It's really annoying when that happens. There is a thought there, and I can't seem to get out what the thought is or the feeling is. Yeah, it's a real struggle for me. I can't get it out. But yeah, is there some sort of repetitiveness that it's just, I don't know if the right word is mediocrity, but there's something mediocre about it potentially, and it's like, well, you could be doing something more valuable with your time, or do it in a different way that feels more valuable, but you just stick into that particular way. I don't know, I can't explain it. It's really annoying me now that I can't get that out of my system. Like say if you were trying to achieve a particular goal, like you wanted to become a actor or something like that, but you keep going to the same you keep going for the same auditions with the same company, with the same people, and they keep rejecting you. And it's like, you get to the point where it's like, come on, you got to go somewhere else, man, because these people just keep, I mean, it's not to say give up, but it's like, clearly, if you've been to interview for the same role or with the same director or same thingy hundreds of times and they keep rejecting you, it gets to the point where it's like, it's all well and good that you're putting in the work. That's fantastic, brilliant, but clearly there's some sort of blockage with that particular direction where it just isn't. Yeah, try something different, try a different place, a different whatever, try something different. I can't explain it better than that. I've done my best, but hopefully that makes sense for you. So I'll leave your message there. Thank you for watching, Scorpio. Take care. Hi Sagittarius, welcome back. So I am making use of the Barbie Aries Zodiac Oracle. So here is the Sagittarius card. And we're going to start off with your message from the Lantern Oracle. So what does Sagittarius need to know for the full moon, 26th of... I nearly said October then. I don't know if October is relevant for someone in any way, shape or form since I nearly said it. Yeah, 26th of December, yeah, full moon in Cancer, 26th of December, and you can take the message for, that was really quick, and I'm not complaining, for the rest of the year as well. So you've got the false beliefs card. So it says, once the untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways we can release the false limitations they confine us to. So I'm going to get you like 3 or so tarot cards as well, and then I'll read the message from the book for you. And strangely, I was talking about October. I kept on saying October, and the card is number 13. And as you may already know, my birthday is on the 13th. It was on Friday the 13th this year. Don't know if that's relevant to anyone as well, but yeah, it's strange. So tarot cards for Sagittarius, please. You have... I almost thought that was going to be the 8 of Cups then, but it's not. It's the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles. The first thing that comes to mind here, and that might not be the full message, or the right message, but it's about over giving or over nurturing with the Queen of Cups and the 6 of Pentacles. But let's see. Okay, so you've got more than 3. Good, because I did it. More than 3 came out for Libra. I think Libra got something like 5 or 6, and I'm not favoring Libra because I am a Libra, and I just was like, minimum 3 cards. If more than that comes out, then we'll take that. So very well could be over giving, to be honest, because with the Ace of Wands, it's kind of, the first word that's coming to mind is disempowered, strangely. I'd say demotivated or uninspired, but yeah, disempowered came to mind as well. I mean, with Temperance in reverse, there's clearly some lack of balance, harmony, equilibrium. You've got the Knight of Pentacles at the end, and for me, sometimes when the Knight of Pentacles is in reverse, okay, so upright, it's someone who's very committed, responsible, dedicated, dutiful. When it comes up in reverse in certain readings, especially when there's something about overgiving, it's a warning about there's a need to be less dutiful. Again, as I often say, it's not about becoming overly selfish, but be careful. And it might be that you acknowledge this, or you're coming into a phase of acknowledging this, and you realize that you've been sort of too obedient. Obedient is probably the word I'm looking for. This is a card of false beliefs. So yeah, maybe there were some rules or something that you felt you needed to follow. Could be to do with nurturing or giving in the past, and it's now a time where you need to recognize where yeah, you need to follow your own rules, basically. And there was something else that was coming in there as well. For anyone who sort of feels like their only value is in what they have to give, I mean, it's wonderful to be of service and to give, but if it's kind of like it's become a bit of a crutch for you, where in your family you're the one that everyone turns to, and it's a comfort zone where, well, it's like my only worth really is what I have to give to people. It's like coming out of that and valuing yourself for yourself as yourself. So let's look at the false beliefs message in here in the book. And especially with Christmas as well, you know, people can really go overboard trying to satisfy everybody and keep everyone happy. And maybe that's something that comes to light at this time of year for you. Mother energy as well. It's full moon in Cancer. Queen of Cups is Cancerian. There might be something relating to a person who's watching, who's a mother, their mother, mother energy in general. Anyway, once the true untruths that we believe about ourselves are illuminated, so are the ways we can release the false limitations they confine us to. So our unhelpful core beliefs are predominantly invisible. So are the ways they influence our experience of reality. Our false beliefs act as tinted lenses that harmfully distort our perception of the world, others, of the world, others, what is possible, and ourselves. For example, you might believe the falsehood that you are not good enough, that you are unlovable, or that you are bad. Such inaccurate convictions will inform you how you make sense of your experience, as well as influence the impossibly high or dangerously low standards you have for yourself, others, and relationship dynamics. False beliefs have the potential to be particularly dangerous because we cannot see when others are using them to manipulate and take advantage of us. Our false beliefs blind us to what we allow into our lives and how we co-create or even perpetually repeat an unwanted, toxic, or even potentially dangerous situation. When we can see our thoughts, feelings, and choices contribute to what is happening for us, we have the key to set ourselves free. Upon learning to see clearly and truthfully, it is up to us to replace our false beliefs with true ones and to live by them. This requires us to love ourselves enough to replace the lies such as "I am unworthy" with the truth "I am worthy." The featured mother supports you in centering yourself within the magnificent light of your spirit self. She encourages you to walk your path to the pace and rhythm of your own beat and to turn every obstacle into a way forward. This card suggests a time of increasing awareness. By identifying what is actually taking place for you in the present, your redefined clarity and focus will begin to change it. It is up to you to continue this process of awakening to your true self, and potentially by questioning, reflecting upon, and actively dissolving whatever misbeliefs are blocking you from your power. Like the featured mother, walk only at your own pace and according to your inner knowing. Step by step, you will incrementally see what needs to be tended to next and how you can go about it. Journaling is a useful tool and the most loyal and empowering ally for this kind of work. Talking through what comes up in your journaling with someone safe and appropriately informed can be of incredible benefit too. The mother's message says, false beliefs create darkness in areas where the mind requires light the most. Hold every question in the illuminating space of your heart. Accept the answer that shines through even when it is contrary to what you want it to be. The heart, like the owl, is too wise and white ever to lie or mislead. Right, that is interesting. That is a pretty deep message, and I don't think there is anything I can add to that other than what I've already said, to be honest. I mean, that thing about I am worthy and I am unworthy, replacing the lie of I am unworthy with the truth of I am worthy, that does come to mind here. But yeah, honestly, I don't think, excuse me, I've got a very dry throat now because I've been talking all day. Yeah, there's not much more I can add to that. I don't feel there's anything else to add to that. So yep, I will leave it there. Thank you for watching, Sagittarius. Take care. Welcome back, Capricorn. So as you can see, I'm making use of the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle, and we have the Capricorn card here. So we're going to start off with your message from the Lantern Oracle first of all, and then we'll get you a minimum of 3 tarot cards. So this message is for the full moon in Cancer, 26th of December, but you can take the message to be relevant for the rest of 2023 as well, which is only about a week, probably more after the full moon. So Capricorn, what is Capricorn's message, please? What is Capricorn's message? Wow, that was pretty dramatic, Capricorn. Women supporting women. So, I mean, it's relevant. I consider it to be relevant whether it's men or women. Could you take it as men supporting men? Maybe you could take that too. Or maybe there are women in your life, if you're a man. Maybe there are particular women that you need support from, or that need to support you, or that you're in a sharing, supporting, whatever with. I would still take it as more inclusive than that, even though it does say women supporting women. Think of it as feminine energy more than anything else, if you want to take it, that way. You choose how you want to take it. So and strangely, I don't know if you just saw that the Hermit was on the bottom of the deck, and the Hermit can be considered to be like a spiritual patriarchal energy. So like, it can be considered to be like the energy of a patriarch who's passed on, who's passed away. Just thought that was kind of contrast with the women supporting women thing. So Capricorn, what else do we need to know for this for Capricorn? So you've got the Ace of Swords. I don't know why I'm getting this vibe. Right, that doesn't shock me, the Seven of Swords. So it's got women supporting women. Take it however you want to take it. But you know, sometimes there's an issue where there's actually, Family Guy talks about it as well, and a lot of there's often jokes made about how women tear each other down when really we should be supporting each other. I wonder if there's issues like that with anybody's family, friends, where it's trying to discern which women in your life are the ones who are genuinely supportive, where there's jealousy. I mean, we haven't got a Five of Swords or anything, who you can trust with that Seven of Swords. Trying to create more genuine bonds with women in particular. Or if you're a man, maybe trying to understand women. Maybe you've got daughters, wives, mothers, sisters, whoever, and you're trying to understand them. I'm going to try that again because that was just insane. So let's try that again. Nope, nothing. One more minimum for Capricorn, please. So for me, I mean, well, it's there as well. The Ace of Swords could potentially be about trying to understand, and as along with the Page of Swords as well. And then you've got the Page of Swords and the Sun, and you've got two cards of clarity on either end, so truths as well. I'm going to say it because it's come to mind. There could be something coming out about, in terms of truths, about women in your family in particular, or maybe friends, or even a partner or wife or something. There could be a truth coming out about that over the full moon and over the rest of the year as well. There could be something about that. There was another message that came through. But yeah, something could come to light around that. That is a strong message, actually, of something coming to light about that. I mean, even individually, I mean, the Ace of Swords is clarity. Seven of Swords, it can be about risky behavior, but it can be about lies, deceit, what's hidden. The Page of Swords is investigation, and the Sun is illumination. So there really could be something coming to light. I mean, it could be something as simple as about who you can and can't trust, who's really there for you. It could be something a little bit deeper than that. But yeah, there could be something coming to light. Okay, I'll read the message and see what that says. So, if I can find this message. Right, together we can transcend our individual limitations. Women who share their weaknesses, struggles and shame, as well as their joys, victories and opportunities, support each other's life journey. Together, women have the potential to strengthen each other in overcoming challenges and to rise much higher than is individually possible. I just want to point out before I even continue, if you are a man watching this, one of the ways that you could fit into this is that could potentially be discontent, drama, if you want to take it to that level with women within your family, and you, to a certain degree, could come in as kind of like the peacemaker. I don't know why that's come in, but that comes to mind as well. Potentially, if it's not about women supporting you, if you're needing their support in some way. Right. By sharing one another's lives, we come to know ourselves. We experience what it is to see and be seen, to speak and be heard, to understand and be understood, and this evolves us. When people connected to their divine inner feminine bear witness, nurture and support one another, mutual love and raised frequency occurs. The divine feminine consciousness connects and supports us in realizing our fullest potential, power and wisdom. In each other, we see what is possible when we do not go at life alone, in silence or against each other. When we realize that we are not alone or judged in our greatest vulnerability, hurts and confusion, we heal. Women who have walked parallel paths know how to create this regenerative space. Life changes the second we are gifted with an experience of there being nothing to be ashamed of, but only pain to be released, witnessed, healed and moved on from. Women supporting women potentially offers this life-changing moment when they hold loving space and support in response to an individual unburdening herself of a shame-filled secret. Therefore, the potential loving safety generated by women supporting women nurtures and nourishes our spirits as well as enriches our lives. It may be time to reach out to the safe women in your life. It could also be a time to explore your local community to discover where individuals connected to their divine feminine gather, or perhaps even organize your own circle at a park, cafe, or home through creating a meetup group or making a poster for your local community center or library notice board. Mother's message is, in empowering one another, we empower ourselves. So, yep, 100%. It could be about women empowering each other and supporting each other. But as I say, there is something coming in here with these men as well. And I know it seems a bit weird, but there could be some sort of mediation going on. It's just because of the swords cards and this feeling of some sort of potential secrecy or need to open up. There may be some kind of mediation involved, whether it is just all women or there's a man involved as well, or men involved. What else came through? I should say the messages when they come out. So yeah, mediation. Maybe there's a need to sit down and talk. And express how you feel, like a group of you expressing how you feel. It could be that with a group of men, or at least one man, there's a need for him or them to embody their, or embrace a bit of feminine energy in terms of, because you know that, and I mean, this is just going by a stereotype, which I know we are not all stereotypes. You know, like they say that men don't, wouldn't have like heart to heart, those kind of, you know, like when you see in films where women get together and have a big heart to heart and whatever and open up and that. Typically, men would do it in a different way, wouldn't they? But maybe there's a specific situation where a group of men or a man and a bunch of women or whatever need to come together and do that kind of heart to heart thing to kind of resolve something, or reveal the truth about something. But I think that's about it. That's the gist of the messages that I'm getting here. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it, really? And a bunch of stuff, but yep, hopefully that was helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Take care. Welcome back, Aquarius. As you can see, I'm making use of the Barbieri Zodiac Oracle here, and we've got your card here. And actually, I think this is one of my favorites. I just like the way his arm heads. I like the way the arm heads look. It's a strange one, but I quite like that. So let's get your message from the Lantern Oracle for the full moon in Cancer on the 26th of December. So we'll get this message out and get you some oracle cards. So I mean tarot cards. So like about 3 tarot cards minimum. So for Aquarius, please, what do we need to know for Aquarius? Aquarius for the full moon, and you can take this message to last for the rest of the year as well. It might be relevant for that too. If I can actually get the cards to come out in the first place. Let's see. You know what, strangely, right, so I've had a glitch with Virgo, where I think I've lost, when I got to Virgo, halfway through the video cut out, and I think I've lost everything from Aries, because I'm doing it in the correct order of the zodiac, from Aries through to like midway Virgo, which I'm not happy about. I'm praying that I can salvage the video just because the messages were so good. I mean, if I've got to re-record, I have to, but the messages were really good, so that's what upsets me. But I think, I don't know if it was Virgo that there was a struggle to get the cards out, or Leo, and with Leo there was some issue with someone sort of opening up and sort of shining their light, and then with Virgo there was some issue with intimacy, and I can't remember which one of their readings it was, but the cards were stuck as hell. And it's like, you know, and it's like, because the part of the message is that someone's kind of holding back, and I'm getting that vibe here as well, because your cards do not want to come out, Aquarius. So, oops, what's going on? Is there anything where someone's holding back, or something needs to come to light, or you're trying to figure something out? And I can't even watch it back now. Let's try that again. That doesn't feel right. We've got enough. I can't even figure it. I won't even be able to watch it. Well, hopefully I'll be able to salvage the video. But if I can't salvage the video, I won't know who it was relevant to. So, Lantern, consciousness is light. So who got this? Was it? Yeah, I'm not even going to guess. I know somebody already got that. But let's get your tarot cards out and see what they say. So Aquarius, what does Aquarius need to know for the full moon? Yep. Knight of Cups. Bear with me one moment. We have a buzzing phone alarm going off, so I've just dealt with that. You have the Two of Cups, which I actually trust. I do trust that. So let's see what else you get. And you have the Seven of Swords. Okay, that just made a huge appearance in Capricorn's reading. That was a little bit of a strange one. Right, so consciousness is light. Knight of Cups, Two of Cups, Seven of Swords. This is the first reading where, and why am I surprised? Because if you've already seen Aquarius readings, sometimes it is difficult for me to decipher the Aquarius messages. The other ones, all of the other ones, as soon as I looked at the tarot cards, I knew exactly what was going on. This one, I'm not sure. I'm going to read the lantern message first because it will help me to get the flavour of the messages. I mean, I can see what's there, and I think, did I mention something about understanding? I don't know if I did, so that might be relevant. I don't know why I said understanding and at which point I said understanding, but that word is in my head now, so that could be relevant there. Let's look at your message for the Oracle card, and then I will go through the tarot for you. So it says, the crone has completed the circle of phases and perspectives pertaining to feminine consciousness, maiden, mother, guardian, and crone. The lanterns hanging from the featured crone's wrist illuminate her world with the clarity of having integrated her spirit self with herself. That could be, yeah, possibly the spirit representation of the spirit self and the self, but we'll see. She has successfully released all of the illusory filters that had created limiting effects on her mind and fed the unhelpful aspects of the ego. That could be that Seven of Swords, to be honest. The white light of love that the crone is can now reach all that is within her periphery. Without judgment or expectation, she is now capable of objectively observing all with compassionate consideration and calm composure. Possibly the Knight of Cups. All matters in life are neutral. Many are not conducive to the meaning and significance that we or others impulsively attach to them. When we view predicaments without emotion or the significance it holds for us, how things make sense beyond our personalization of them are illuminated. To separate ourselves from the drama, assumptions, and heightened emotions is to see rather than react according to the underlying dynamics at play. This affords us access to the empowered capacity to choose whether to participate in what is being triggered or projected onto the situation. The crone has shown up to remind you that whenever you feel challenged in life, stop whatever you are doing to ask spirit self, what am I being invited to learn here? Sorry, that was a really disjointed sentence, wasn't it? Each obstacle, moment of overwhelm and hardship offers necessary and valuable lessons to evolve us beyond being a match to it. Any perceived mistake, wrong turn, or regret plays a part in your pathway to insight and liberation. Please be assured that each currently perceived negative is a presently unlit lantern and therefore opportunity to see clearer. All that is needed is for the light to be turned on so that the obstacle can be recognized as the positive lesson, tool, growth, insight, or gift that it is. You are always met with teachings in forms that match whatever way you are available to receive them at that moment. Each teaching is necessary for your learning of another better way in your progression. May you shine the light of your love into any lesson that holds a lingering negative charge for you, until it transforms into heartfelt gratitude for and compassion of its recognition of its supporting role in your evolution. Love is the only place from which to observe, be in, and reflect upon life. Proceed in the great neutralizing white light of love, where we may compassionately, there it is, I was waiting for that word to come up, compassionately embrace all facets of ourselves and others. The crone's message says, awareness expands as we clear the darkness with light. Clarity transforms our perception into lanterns of insight that can illuminate a way for others too. So if you were able to actually take that message in, I know it was a lot. Yeah, understanding makes sense now. I think that's why the word understanding came to mind, because this is about understanding. It's about sort of holding back on your judgment, being compassionate towards yourself, being compassionate towards others, learning from situations, taking a step back. I've said in previous readings that the Two of Cups is not just about love, romantic love. It's about connection, but it's understanding too. And this is a new meaning for me. I'm sure I've probably read this meaning or definition of the Knight of Cups before, but I haven't. It's like it's something where it doesn't stick. And compassion, I was thinking as I was reading it, it's that Knight of Cups about compassion and sort of seeing the best in people. And I think if I remember rightly, the Knight of Cups can be connected to compassion. So I think that may be what that reference is here, understanding and compassion, whether it is to yourself, to other people, as I've said in other readings relating to recently, because it's that Christmas period. Yeah, it can be tough being around loads of people, especially family, where there's drama, stuff like that. So compassion, understanding. And then this Seven of Swords, illusions. It can be the illusions, can't it? So I think that's where we are here. I think the big theme here, it's about understanding. The Two of Cups is at the center of everything as well. I mean, there could be some truths that need to come out or come out at around this time, or lies that need to be addressed or dealt with. But as I say, it looks like there's a thing about compassion and understanding here. It might be about people needing to be more honest with each other. And compassion, it doesn't mean that somebody's a liar and a cheat and whatever, and you just let them, like, you don't acknowledge that, and you're just like, oh, well, I'm seeing the best in them, so they're sweet. And I mean, not to say they don't have a sweet side, but it's not about like completely dismissing any shit they've stirred up. But yeah, there's going to be the relevance of understanding and compassion somewhere within all of this. And then, as I say, there's something about illusions potentially, and lies and truth that come in here. So hopefully you understand that, Aquarius. Wishing you all the best. Thank you for watching. Take care. Welcome back, Pisces. As you can see, I'm making use of the Barbie Aries Zodiac Oracle within this reading. So here is the Pisces card. Let's get your message from the Lantern Oracle first, and then I'll get you a few tarot cards. So like about 3, if more come out than that. Three or so tarot cards. So for Pisces, what do we need to know for the full moon in Cancer on the 26th of December? And you can take this message to be relevant for the rest of 2023 as well, because there's only about a week left after the full moon, and obviously we get we get a shadow period as well. Oh wow, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Wow, mirroring big time here, Pisces. So first of all, your 12th sign in the zodiac. This is number 21, mirroring there. Virgo. You might be dealing with a Virgo actually in some way, shape or form. Virgo got this message. I had a massive glitch with the Virgo video where all the videos that are recorded, I've done them in the correct zodiac order from Aries through to the middle of Virgo. Something happened with the camera, it cut out and it won't play. So I'm hoping that I can salvage it, because those messages were really good. If not, it is what it is. I'll have to re-record, but it's just because the messages were so good. That disappoints me. But yeah, Virgo got this, and Virgo is opposite to you in the zodiac. So it's strange that that came out. Well, not strange, but it's just interesting that it came out. So key to intimacy. Intimate love is a core need. Sorry, I can't even read. A core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. So you may want to watch that Virgo one. I mean, I was able to salvage, like, the cards were still out, so I was able to salvage the Virgo reading in that sense, the Virgo messages in that sense. It's just that, yeah, it was kind of halfway through, it kind of cut out. Theirs is quite long actually because of the fact that it cut out. So, but that might be relevant to you. And there was a strong romantic. I mean, there could have been other relationships like friendships, family, but theirs was strongly romantic. So if you're dealing with a Virgo, there might be something relevant there for you as well. Or if Virgo is your sun, moon or rising sign, that might be relevant. So Pisces, let's see what you get. Sorry, that was very, very loud, wasn't it, that shuffling? My deck is getting quite stuck, and I can't remember if it was either Leo or Virgo that the deck kind of struggled, like the cards struggled to come out in that one. I can't remember if it was that or Leo, but if it was that one, it's interesting, because intimacy, it's where you kind of either open up or don't open up, isn't it? So Pisces, what does Pisces need to know for the full moon in Cancer? You've got the Seven of Cups here, you've got the Ten of Swords. One more for Pisces, please. Yeah, you've got quite a few here. So I believe that Chariot was first. got the Chariot, Four of Swords. I'd say some sort of confusion for you is over. Whatever relevance that has in your life, whether it is to do with a relationship, a particular situation, and I can't tell specifically what it is, but the confusion is probably over. You've got, first of all, and it means that you can probably move forward now, actually. The Seven of Cups is in reverse. Upright, it is a card that can be associated with confusion. It's to do with making choices, looking at perspectives. It's in reverse. It's next to the Ten of Swords. That's done, or it will come to an end over this full moon period, or, you know, within the last week or so of 2023. So yeah, whatever you may have been confused about or not quite known what to do, how to move forward, that's coming to an end now. You've got the Chariot, so that means that you can move forward hopefully now, or you know how to move forward. She's like looking back at all that as if it's like, yeah, that's done, gonna move on. You may need to take some time out to rest. Like there may be a bit of a pause, a break, or you need a period of rest. Might be to contemplate things or think about your next move or what you want to do now. It might just be that you went through a difficult time and you need to have a break and just take a time out for yourself. But once that's done, once all of this is done, it's like clarity and you can move forward. So let's look at that intimacy message. So because there's intimacy there, as I say, there might be a relationship involved here, and that might be the key. That, I mean, I still stand by the message, but it might be in relation to intimacy, whether it's intimacy with yourself and you figure out something about yourself that's been confusing, or whether it's with someone else and you figure out something about them. But I guess key to intimacy, there's some sort of intimacy. I mean, intimacy with yourself, what is it? It's when you're kind of more open and honest with yourself about something in particular, isn't it? And it's the same with someone else, is when you and someone else share more openly and more deeply something about yourself, and that can create a greater sense of clarity. So, I mean, for someone, it could be a make or break point in a relationship, possibly, or I don't know. But all I can see is that whatever was confusing becomes clear. And intimacy is relevant to that as well. So let's look at the oracle message for you, 21. And I mean, full moon in Cancer. Full moons are about completion, release. Cancer's emotions. Is it to do with releasing emotions? I mean, a personal issue reaches resolution. If you need to go back to the to when I read at the beginning of the reading, I read out the full moon in Cancer message, not because it came out, but like, this is what I do now. I just take the card out of the Moonology deck and read the message. If you need to refer back to that, that might be helpful for you in particular as well here. So, key to intimacy. Intimate love is a core need to be met in relation to ourselves and those closest to us. The journey to intimacy often includes learning what love is not. That might have happened to you here. You might have learned what love is not, possibly. One potential. Right, regardless of whether we have received unconditional love while growing up, coming to know and accept ourselves in such a manner is challenging. Unconditional self-love is necessary, and there is a learning curve for being able to allow another to see into us and accept all that we are and are not. This includes our most raw and least flattering shades. We all have them. It is desirable but not easy to let a deserving other into our lives deep enough to know our full spectrum. Once we can know, accept and love all of who and what we are, we become fully available for another to accept the totality of us too. It also builds in us the strength and integrity to walk away from those who cannot genuinely respect or accept us. Rather than internalizing their judgment, rejection, or desire to change certain parts of us, developing the capacity to honor and care for ourselves despite our flaws and shortcomings also equips us to hold loving space for others without judgment, conditions, control, or petty rejection. The journey to self-intimacy further teaches us the value and beauty of our flaws. We learn to recognize any challenge that tests the intimate space we share with another as an opportunity to grow closer and stronger from working through it together. The purpose of obstacles is not to create distance or stop us, but to enrich, further connect, and expand us. Intimacy is as much about accepting each other's differences, struggles, and uniqueness as it is about respecting one another's boundaries. The key to intimacy with another leads to knowing, valuing, and supporting each other's paths. While it is necessary for our paths to parallel and be faced in the same direction, it is essential for them not to enmesh. Be careful to whom you trust the key for your heart. The featured mother wishes to remind you that pure love, respect, and integrity use what is uncovered to lift, support, protect, care about, and empower you. In any instance that a person should prove unworthy of the key you have entrusted them with by using it for anything untoward, change the lock. It is never okay to have this sacred trust disrespected or abused. You always hold the right to take back your power. The same holds with you in regard to another's trust. Be equally honourable to and respectful of how you treat any key given to you. If you ever need to hand a key back, do so. In respect of the intimacy you had once shared with this individual, continue to manage with integrity and discretion what was exposed in trust to you. The mother's message says, to see into yourself with the eyes of love allows for another to see unconditionally into you too. Of equal importance is that it, in turn, allows you to lovingly see others in this way. I don't have anything else to add to that, to be honest, Pisces. I think I spoke enough at the beginning. That was a pretty deep message. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. I wish you all the best. Take care.